Look out, it's the Backlog BoyZ.
Virus detected.
Download complete.
Hello,
Go,
welcome. I said I was gonna do it.
I thought you said I was gonna do it. I thought you said.
Hello, everyone.
Everyone, and welcome. Let's just do it the same time.
Okay, hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody, and
welcome to the
Backlog
All You Can Hear
BoyZ.
podcast.
Completely different thing. What the fuck?
Oh man, welcome to the Backlog BoyZ podcast, episode 3, official 3. 2.99 was the last one, and before then it was 2 point something. I can't remember.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We're here. We're finally here. This is the Pokemon episode. It's been a long time coming. We're supposed to release this in December, but Tanner caught COVID. Couldn't do it in December. And then we were going to record this last week-ish. Last week, yeah. And Tanner forgot that we're going to see Ultraman that night, or the night before, so he didn't have enough time to beat it. And then we pushed it to today. And then Tanner, this time, Switch broke. So Tanner's not here.
Yeah, it's just us.
He didn't beat the game. So technically we could have recorded last week, but we didn't know because Tanner's Switch broke a few days after we skipped ahead anyways.
Yeah.
We replanned it. Rescheduled.
Yeah, so any
sucks.
grievances you have, take it up with Tanner.
Yeah, just pull Tanner away from his job and spank him.
Yeah, take him aside and give him a little backyard slapping.
Yeah, and say that's from the Backlog BoyZ, and he's gonna be very confused thinking he did it.
Yeah. But that's all right, because we're here now, and we're gonna talk about Pokemon.
Oh yes, we are. We have been busy bees. Well, I beat the game early December, late November, somewhere in there. I can't remember the exact time I beat it. So it's been some time since I beat it.
Yeah, and I have been like Tanner and putting it off. I didn't beat it till like probably last week. But I mean, that just makes it fresh in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, we've just been we've got a lot of thoughts on it because Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's got
we've been really
interesting launch.
Yeah, because like if anybody knows, whenever this launched, there was just so much going on about it. If especially if you're a Pokemon fan, you know that like, well, there's like a ton of shit. So it was interesting because whenever we talked about doing this episode, we were like, oh yeah, we're probably gonna have a great time. It's gonna be a fun game, and it's gonna be a fun episode. Just us talking about, singing its praises. And not to give you any spoilers about what we have to say, but whenever it released and we actually played it, we were like, well, this might be we might have more to say than we thought.
Yeah.
For good and bad.
Yeah, it's not all bad. It really isn't.
Bad. It really isn't. It's just that we didn't expect some stuff
to be as complicated as it is.
Yeah.
And boy, it's complicated.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't really think of anything like preamble or anything to say beforehand other than just we're ready.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to get into it.
All right, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Here's some credits, some information about this game, because, well, it's going to be putting in your brain, and we're going to be talking about it for the next few hours. Don't know how long, but we'll see.
Yeah.
The developer, obviously developed by Game Freak. It was published by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. Nintendo, they love to release rough games. Not really. That's not true. I imagine they're going to be not so happy about this next game. They're going to try to fix some issues they had this time. Hopefully. Director Shigeru Omori, producers Akira Kanashi, Toyokazu Nonaka, Takanori Soa, Kenji Endo, designer Hiroyuki Tani, artist Mana Ibe, Marishima Zaki, and James Turner. I know.
I know. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just like it's just
very obviously Japanese names, and then James Turner.
Yeah.
I've just gotten used to that because I've played the Yakuza games for years now, and there'll be occasional just like a normal
Just
white
guy.
person name.
Or sorry, not
because there is just a random white guy in the story. There's always just a random white guy in a Yakuza game.
just an English name, just a very normal English name.
Writer Ryota Muranaka, composers Minako Adachi, Junichi Masuda, classic. Everybody knows Masuda.
Yep.
Goichi Nose, Hiromitsu Meiba, Turo Taniguchi, Hitomi Sato, and Toby Fox. Hitomi Sato, why do I know that name? That name sounds very familiar. I'm gonna have to Google that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, because I thought it was familiar too. I don't know who that was. I just didn't take the time to Google it.
Oh, they're very popular Pokemon composers. Okay, yeah, and Toby Fox.
Yeah,
so
which surprisingly does not get me laughing like James Turner.
Because Toby Fox is, I'm pretty sure that's not their name. I think that's just like an online moniker.
Yeah, it's just a unique name. So it just, it's nothing compared to James Turner.
Thank you, James Turner, for your contribution on the art because it's good. We're not just ragging on you.
I know.
I'm
sorry.
Good job.
Yeah, I know.
The series obviously is Pokemon platform. Nintendo Switch. It released for the Nintendo Switch on November 18th, 2022.
That was last year.
Yeah, it was very recent. This is probably going to be the most recent game we'll ever cover, or at least for a little bit.
For a little bit, yeah.
Because it's going to take some time to actually beat some of these future games.
Yeah.
But not the immediate future. We'll get to that later. I'm going to hit you with a synopsis of this. It's in Scarlet and Violet, the players attend either the Ranja or the Uva Academy. The academy has an annual treasure hunt in which students are encouraged to seek something they treasured by exploring the region. After encountering either the legendary Pokemon Koraidon or Miraidon, depending on whichever version you get.
Yeah, respectively.
Who joins to assist the player despite having lost its ability to battle. The player is encouraged to participate in 3 stories: Victory Road, Starfall Street, and Path of Legends. And we're going to hit you with all that details later.
Yeah. For the setting, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are set in the Paldea region of the Pokemon universe, which appears to be loosely based on the Iberian Peninsula, Spain, and the region features diverse landscapes, including lakes, wastelands, and mountain ranges. A large crater named the Great Crater of Paldea lies in the center of the region, formed by a meteor strike centuries before the events of the game. Inside the crater is an area named Area 0, where the terrestrialization phenomenon was first discovered. The region is divided into 20 different areas, 6 located in the south, 3 located in the east, 4 located in the west, and 7 located in the north. The areas differ in Pokemon, some only bound to specific parts of the region, just like every Pokemon game. So, yeah.
And I don't have it in the doc, but one thing I think is really cool about this is that you can actually see, or you can't really see, but there's a massive wall on the map where it's obviously that's Unova. Or not Unova. What was X and Y's region called?
Oh, Kalos.
Kalos. It's France. Considering I
Spain
think they
France
would be right next to each other.
Are right next to each other. So, yeah.
Some really cool information. I really enjoy the setting, and I feel like I should wait to get into that detail. So I'll wait, I guess.
Yeah.
Now we're going to hit you with some development information, and be surprised. There's not much because Nintendo doesn't really give out information, and also it just came out, so there's not going to be many interviews talking about like past working on this game and shit like that.
Yeah, like that's not like it's I don't know about anybody else, but like literally when it comes to development, they keep it kind of secret. Um,
They got to keep
that's
the formula close at hand. They don't want anybody to find it out, even though it's been a rough formula.
Yeah, it's been a rough formula, and also already there are other companies starting to come out with creature capture games because they're so fucking pissed at Pokemon. So, there's that.
Yeah, and then I just have another note here that this is the only second note I have for development is Toby Fox assisted in composing some of the music featured in the games. That I wrote that one here because I was really happy about that. I love Toby Fox work on Undertale. The music there is phenomenal, and let's just say he brought it back with the heat because he worked on Sword and Shield for how I want to say the Legendaries music. Can't remember exactly what he did for Sword and Shield, but it was really good.
Yeah. You know, because I'm looking at this now, I saw it originally, but I didn't think much about it because it's 2023, but I just Pokemon Scarlet and Violet started development in late 2019 around the same time of the release of Pokemon Sword and Shield, which reminds me, I'm like, oh shit, like the pandemic happened in 2020, so did development I'm pretty sure it did. It halted Scarlet and Violet, and was it kind of I guess a rush job maybe to get it put out? Maybe that's
Ah,
why it's
I'm not exactly sure about that because they had some time with it. Because this game was very rough.
well, that's what
Well,
I'm
I
that
think that Arceus was so fucking good. Personally, not really a shock. I like Arceus a lot more than I do this game.
that's what I'm saying though, is that like they had time, but did the pandemic halt that? And then whenever they could get back to working on it, they just started where they left off, or it was like a slow process. And I'm feeling some Nintendo kind of fault on this, maybe
I think it's
Pokemon Company,
Game Freak and Nintendo. Something's
all three of
weird
them.
there. They need to work with, I don't know, just talk to someone else that's making those AAA exclusives over at Nintendo. The people at Monolith Soft. Is Monolith Soft the same people that make Xenoblade? And anyway, the people that make Xenoblade games, they look fantastic for the Switch. And even then, they don't look the greatest because it is the Switch.
Well, because I don't want to cast judgment too much on Game Freak or anybody actually working there, because is it like a developer like corporate issue where they might have they might have forced them to crunch or something, like what happened. And the thing is though is that, like, we don't really know, because I don't know if they really were, we've really gotten any kind of information on that, I don't think.
And crunch in Japan and Japanese business culture is considered normal. So they don't
Yeah.
really talk out about that kind of stuff.
So, like, because I mean, it's like the same thing with the manga industry, like especially with recently with Kentaro Miura with Berserk.
Yeah, you say recently, that was almost 2 years ago.
Damn.
Yeah, it's
that's
stupid.
that's stupid. Oh my god, that's so long. That's so long ago. Yeah,
Y
I mean, obviously we're not investigative reporters here, but it's just
Nah.
something to think about. Um, yeah,
Alright,
but
you wanna get hit with some marketing? Everybody here getting some marketing?
yeah, go ahead, market to us, market this
Alright.
game.
This game got creatures. Pokemon
Ooh,
Scarlet and Violet were announced during the Pokemon Presents presentation on February 27th, 2022. Pretty much shortly, very, very shortly after the release of Pokemon
Arceus.
Arceus.
So whenever this was announced, me, everybody else were pretty fucking surprised.
Because I thought Pokemon Arceus was going to be just the main line Pokemon games from now on. And I was very happy with that because I think Arceus was. I'd be very happy with it if there was no other Pokemon games coming out this year. But since there was two, I was losing my mind.
Yeah,
Throughout the game's pre-release marketing, several in-universe videos were released to reveal new Pokemon, such as a trail cam to reveal Graph II. I keep wanting to say Giraffarig or Farigiraf,
Yeah.
whatever. Graph II, a web seminar to reveal Wiglet, which is really cool. And a live stream to reveal Belly Bolt, like a Twitch streamer live stream to reveal Belly Bolt. It was an Ionos like guest this Pokemon, and a short found footage to reveal Greavard, in which that's my favorite of the in-universe videos that they released was the little Greavard one because it actually shows how it interacts with people, and that the lore behind Greavard is that if you play with the dog, it will slowly suck your soul out of your body. And in that video, we see someone die.
Yeah. No, we don't actually see them die.
It's
We
a
just see
found footage, like from their
it's found
POV.
yeah, it's found footage style from their POV. They lose consciousness is what happens.
So I'm
We
assuming
can't
they're dead.
Yeah, okay. We can't have too many Pokemon blunders, Colt. Okay, they just had a video where Pikachu said "fuck."
They did. They did. They shouldn't have so. Oh my god! Do they not have like somebody that runs by the audio, but by anyone just runs the audio by them? Because if you aren't in the know, there was a TikTok of I think it was Pikachu and not Riolu, Lucario.
Yeah, Lucario.
They were doing a fun little mascot dance, and it was, if you're happy and you know it, clap your motherfucking hands.
Yeah.
And Pikachu was clapping Riolu's hand, so he was happy. Not Riolu, Lucario. And Lucario was looking angry, so he was probably the one cussing.
Probably. Yep.
Second trailer was released June 1st, 2022, showing the 2 box art legendary Pokemon, some new gameplay, and 3 new Pokemon, and some new characters. I'm not going into detail on what the Pokemon were because, good God, there's a lot, and if we were to do that, we'd be here for a little bit.
Yeah.
But Miraidon and Koraidon, really good legendaries, immediately shown off. I loved them both, and I usually pick my game depending on how much I like the legendary, and I liked them both so much that it took till probably September for me to really pick what I wanted. I was feeling Scarlet because I like red most, but I ended up liking Koraidon a lot more.
I went with Violet. I like Miraidon, and also too, I just wanted to be like opposite to Colt so that we can trade and stuff. But I mean, really though, I did love the future stuff and seeing Miraidon. Yeah, Miraidon's awesome.
Yeah, both really cool legendaries. August 3rd, 2022, a third trailer was released revealing 2 new Pokemon and the return of regional variants with a Paldean Wooper, the name of the region, and the new battle mechanic called Terrestrialization. This was a trailer where I realized, all right, here's the Mega Evolution or the Gigantamax of this game.
The gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't really care about, but Paldean Wooper was a cool addition because regional variants rule. I'm a big fan of them.
I am a big fan of regional variants. It really changes up their designs and their typing too. So it makes for the Pokemon to be a little more interesting, in my opinion. And Paldean Wooper was I think the internet died of cuteness overload whenever we saw Paldean Wooper.
Paldean Wooper I thought it was fine because I thought it would be evolved into a pirate Pokemon, but its second evolution is way better than I expected.
It's so good.
What is his name? Its name? Clodsire. Love that little creature. Very cute.
Yep. He's just a big old salamander lying on his belly. Yeah, I love him. Mine is named Fudge.
That's a good name.
It's very good. Also, too, there was a bunch of jokes about Paldean Wooper. Since it's brown, everybody called him Pooper.
Okay, that's pretty funny. That is good.
It's really funny.
The 4th trailer dropped on September 7th, 2022, detailing the 3 storylines and 3 new Pokemon. So that's when we got the Star Street, Classic Victory Road, and
Path of Titans.
Path of Titans.
Yep. It was 4 days before 9/11.
Yeah, and they also announced that we'll take a moment of silence for 9/11.
Yeah.
September 29th, 2022, the day that will be remembered by all for the tragic events that took place that day. It was a very painful and sad day for me, and I know probably Wenzel. I feel like I heard him crying that day. Ed Sheeran released a song titled Celestial in collaboration with the Pokemon Company that is set to appear in the games. Disgusting. We'll get to him later in the game, but man, that was very sad.
I mean, we can all kind of guess where he's gonna be, but goddamn, I had forgotten the pain of that day, but then when he popped up, I was so sad and hurt.
Yeah, it
Goddamn.
was very painful. On October 6th, 2022, Farigiraf was revealed in a 14-minute gameplay video. And that's all I have for marketing.
That was everything, and it sucks too. On September 29th, all we got was that goddamn Ed Sheeran song. Everybody was thinking we'd get a new Pokemon or something. No, we got Ed Sheeran singing.
It's just disrespectful, hurtful, painful.
Absolutely.
Very sad, Pokemon Company. Why couldn't you just collab with someone cool like
Run the Jewels?
Gorillas? Yeah, Run the Jewels and Gorillas.
No, I mean, I was thinking that too. I was like, man, out of all the artists they could have collabed with, I mean, Ed Sheeran is. I mean, you can say they're probably a safe bet, but like, I mean, there's other good pop artists.
I just don't care for Ed Sheeran. I've never liked his music.
I don't either. I never liked his stuff. I'm sorry. I just don't care.
Could be a nice guy. I don't know. I don't know anything about him other than every time his music comes, I'm like, change that now.
Turn it off. Turn that shit off. Or just listen to silence.
Yeah, I'd rather sit in the silence, ripping ass, hearing my own farts, clapping, than listen to that. That sounds rude. I'm sorry, Ed, if you're listening. I know you're a listener.
I'm so sorry, Ed. Just next time.
Just try harder, okay?
Sorry.
Do not be sorry. Be better.
Oh, God. We want to go into some reception and sales talk?
Yeah, let's get into some reception, some sales. Scarlet and Violet received mixed or average reviews according to review aggregator Metacritic, making them the lowest rated mainline Pokemon game currently on the platform, which is not shocking after playing the game. It's not really shocking. But it's currently sitting at a 72 out of 100 from critics and a 3.2 user score, which is insane how low that is. 3.2 out of 10.
Yeah.
And that was when I was writing this doc, which was last December, I think. It's been a bit. I'm going to see what it's currently sitting at because I don't imagine it went up any. I'm going to go to the Pokemon Scarlet. It's currently sitting at 72, 3.2. Yep. Stayed the same.
Nice.
So I don't think that's going to be changing anytime soon.
No, probably not.
It was criticized for suffering from graphical glitches and poor performance. Graphics were also considered to be dog water, booty hole, poopy butt, with unfavorable comparisons to other Switch titles as Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Within 3 days of its release, the game had sold over 10 million copies worldwide, including 4.05 million in Japan alone. Which this next part is going to be pretty crazy considering the dog water stuff I said earlier. Sales figure was the highest of any software on any Nintendo platform within 3 days, and the best launch of any console exclusive game in history.
I mean, everybody was hyped for it. Everybody was excited.
I'm a Pokemon fan till the day I die. I get them every single time, regardless of what I think of. I mean, there's nothing bad every time news for Pokemon comes out. I'm always happy about Pokemon news. But I would have thought that the reviews would have hurt this a lot more, but they did not hurt at all. Which was strange, I feel, because I remember after the release of Sword and Shield, even though that game was so massive, that was the most Pokemon hate I've ever seen in my life. And I feel like I've seen more hate for Sword and Shield than I have this game, which feels strange. I found more people having fun and looking at the goofy glitches with Scarlet and Violet than I saw so many people talking shit about that damn tree, and they still
Yeah.
talk about that damn trees to this day.
In Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care, man. Go play something else. You got anything
Yeah.
else to say?
I don't. I'm gonna go into this next part, story and game details.
All right, hit it up.
107 new Pokemon were added to the Pokédex, raising the final number of Pokemon to 1,008. That's a pretty big milestone. 1,008 fucking Pokemon. That's crazy. Yeah, this is probably the most new Pokemon we've gotten for a while, which was really exciting. Really, I think it made everybody pretty happy. That we
Yeah, I
got
can't remember the exact. I just know it's way more than we got with Sword and Shield, way more than we got with Sun and Moon, and I think X and Y probably rivals it, maybe, or maybe it's just a little bit lower.
maybe.
But either way, that's a lot of new Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, we could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we're not because I'm pretty sure we didn't get much. You know what? I'm gonna look it up right now.
All right, do your thing.
Number.
There was not just new Pokemon added. This doesn't count the regional variants, I don't think. So technically, there's more than 107. And if you include Arceus, this year has added a whole lot.
Okay, right here it says 81 total new Pokemon in Sword and Shield, and that includes the 13 new Galarian forms. Let's see, Sun
Okay.
and Moon.
Sun and Moon. I think Sun and Moon's in the 70s, and that includes the.
Sun and Moon was also 81.
Okay.
Including Alolan forms. Let's see X and Y now.
I know X and Y is a good bit.
Nope, X and Y was 72.
That's it. Yeah.
So, you know what? Let's go back even further. What was the last one? Black
and White. I know Black and White added a lot. I do remember that.
and White 2, correct?
I mean, I count Black and White 2 as the same region.
Oh my god. Okay. So Black and White was 156 new Pokemon.
Yeah, I think that's the most they've ever added.
So this was the first time in a while where we actually broke the 100 Pokemon mark, which
it took them 10 years.
It took them a long time. But I like that though. I like a lot of new Pokemon. That gives you a lot to work with, you know? I love seeing new stuff.
Very few Pokemon that I actually dislike. I in this game, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I said that's so ugly, get it out of my face.
Yeah, no, I think I liked every Pokemon form. Yeah, everything looked cool. But anyway, back to story and game details. There are 3 different storylines that play into one final story. And the thing is like when this game was marketed too, you know, it was marketed on choose your own adventure, which you can do, but you also kind of have to do each storyline, which I think is a good thing. I think you should be able to do each storyline rather than just being stuck to one, so that you can all go into the final story.
Yeah, because the 3 storylines are connected by the final one. You need to complete them to beat the game.
Yeah,
but it is also, they say it's like 3 paths you can follow. It's still pretty linear. You have to go to certain places if you're not high enough level. You can't just bounce around. You can, but you'll be fighting the Ghost Gym with a level 10 Pokemon. Don't think that's a good thing.
Yeah, they made this game very open world, which is a good thing, but at the same time, you really just can't go wherever you want because you will run into that issue of level scaling, or not level scaling, difference in levels.
Yeah.
Is that level scaling?
Also different environments. You have to actually complete missions to level up Miraidon or Koraidon's abilities.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I'm having a problem with the levels don't scale. So so every person or Pokemon in that area will be a specific level, and also, but the thing is that your having Miraidon or Koraidon, it does limit you because they don't have certain capabilities. So you that does help in keeping you on the ground in your in where you should be. So there's that. But yeah, so one storyline follows the traditional 8 gym format with with an Elite Four. Another follows the story of the villains of the game, where you go around the 5 Team Star camps, defeating the leaders to eventually defeat the big boss. And then the third storyline, where you follow a fellow student that's on the hunt for the elusive Titan Pokemon, 5 total, because the Titan Pokemon are guarding something very important to the boy. Yeah. And then the final story takes place after completing all 3 of the main storylines and has 3 of your quote rivals unquote from each storyline that will follow you into the famous Area 0 that you've been hearing about the entire game. This is where we get into big spoiler stuff, so keep that in mind.
That we forgot to say the top spoilers. We are going to spoil this game, and I recommend don't get spoiled if you're not spoiled for it already, because I really like this story, and I think it's one of the better Pokemon stories that we've had in the past few years. And past forever. I think it's a really good story.
Yeah, I won't reveal my hand so early.
Okay. Also, the 3 rivals statement. I know that's what feels weird to say, but like every single person that we're going to talk about, they're definitely rivals. Because it's not just one rival here. You will fight all 3 of these people. Fist fights.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like no Pokemon, only fists.
And let's just say they do have hands. Well, 2 of them have hands.
2 of them have hands. One of them, I would say, you
just stomp on their creatures and they just scream in like terror.
You beat them pretty easily. It's because they're a dumb nerd.
We'll get to them. There's some crazy shit going on in there.
Yeah. But I guess are we ready to get down to basically a breakdown of each path?
Oh yeah, let's get these stories done. I love these stories. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the Victory Road. You'll hit the Path of Legends, and I'll hit Starfall Street. That sound good?
Okay, that sounds good.
All right, Victory Road Pursuit. This is the classic gym storyline. 8 gyms. Throughout the story, you will battle Nimona multiple times. Since she would be the main rival if we had to pick the main one of the 3. She follows you to every individual gym that you go to, and she's like, I'll fight you after this gym battle or before.
Yeah.
And she's just stalking you. She beats the fuck out of your Pokemon too.
Yeah. Now she won't fight you every time. I will say every time that you do get around to meeting her, I always have a blast. I think she's a fun character.
Oh, I love Nimona.
I love
she's
Nimona.
Really cool.
She's probably my favorite rival out of like all the games, and probably one of the best in a while. I'm already revealing my hand a little bit, but yeah, I really enjoyed Nimona. There's a part in the game too where you're at one of the gyms and she's like, I want to battle you, but I got some stuff to do. And then she kind of runs away as she's like yelling at you. She's like, forgive me. It's like, you don't have any voice actors or anything, but it's just seeing like the subtitle saying that as she's running away is really funny.
Yeah. I think it's a shame that Pokemon games don't have voices, because there are scenes in this game that are clearly
meant to have somebody talking,
but they don't have someone talking. It's very strange.
It's so weird, and I hate it. I think that's a loss on their part.
It's really dumb. Also, another thing about Nimona that I think is crazy is all the hate she got. A lot of people hate her. She's got a lot of character. In rivals in the past, they rarely have any character. They're just there to annoy you. The last time they had a really good rival was with, N's not technically the rival in Black and White, but N was the last good rival, if you ask me.
My thing is like, with Nimona, like I said, she's probably one of my favorites. Or I say in a while. I said it before too. She's probably my favorite in the entire series because, like, last rival we got, what's his name?
Hop.
Pop.
Hop.
Hop. Oh my god. He was fine, but like it just seemed like there was like a huge like power difference there where every time, he lost, he got really into himself. I do enjoy the character development there where at the very end, he kind of gets over that, is able to overcome that and kind of realizes maybe that that he needs to do something else. He's just not really much of a rival. Then the last one in Sun and Moon.
How?
Oh my god, how the fuck do you remember their names?
I don't know. It's so strange.
I will give it to you. I do not remember these guys' names because they did not stick out to me as rivals. How, especially in Sun and Moon, he was just kind of there.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about him. And if you ask me the X and Y and the black and white, I will not remember. I do not remember.
I was gonna say the same thing. I remember in X and Y, you had probably the main, like, basically she was like she was literally the fucking your counterpart. Or if you played as a girl,
Oh
you
yeah,
played
that's
her.
right.
And she's in the anime too. That was your rival technically, but then you also had like 3 other people who were also your rivals, and cannot remember the
Oh
fucking name.
yeah, they were your friends. Yeah, I cannot remember their names.
Yeah, there's like a whole like thing with them too. And the thing is too is like they were like, they were very like nice like kids or characters or whatever. It's just that like they
Don't
were there
remember 'em.
too. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But I will say the characters in this game, I will probably remember. I'm pretty confident. I really like them, and Nimona is a really good rival. She's not annoying. She's uh I think genuinely like interested in battle and also really supportive.
Yeah, she's super kind and not your rivals in the past haven't been dicks except for like gold and silver, that region. I remember the rival being a weirdo.
Yeah, I remember that too. Um oh, emulator. But anyway, yeah, no, I mean, like none of them have been dicks, but like I mean her especially, like I think with the way they wrote her, you really feel her like supportive nature, and like too you feel her kind of like you're on really equal grounds with her.
Yeah, very equal grounds until later, in my opinion. We'll see.
I mean, you always have the type advantage thing going on where they have to pick the Pokemon that's weakest to your type.
No,
But
they have to pick the Pokemon that's stronger to your type. This is where they swapped it up, where she actually picked the Pokemon that's weakest to your type. That was
yeah,
one thing that I found weird.
wait, you're saying that she picked the weakest?
Yeah, she picked the weakest. She
Have they not done that before?
I don't remember.
I'm
I
pretty
just
sure.
remember in the past, like if you picked in Diamond and Pearl Turtwig, they would pick the Chimchar.
Oh, fuck me. I think you're right. I think because Sword and Shield, Hop chose the fucking bunny, right?
Yeah, I think he chose Cinderace.
Oh, no, wait.
When
Are
I
we
picked,
sure? Or did he not choose a fucking Inteleon? Oh my god damn
I
it.
can't remember, man. It's been 4 years.
Hold on. Tanner, if you're listening to this, please edit
5
this
years.
or something. I don't know. Sword and Shield.
No, we don't have editors. And I don't.
What starter?
They might have changed it up in Sword and Shield, but I do know that's how it used to work in the older games.
Yeah. Yeah. It says right here. He will choose a Pokemon that's weak to yours.
Okay, I guess they changed it up,
but
for some reason.
But Leon, his older brother, will choose the starter that yours is weak against.
Yeah, because he's the champion. They don't want it to be easy.
Yeah, they don't want it to be easy. Yeah, Nimona chooses because yeah. I thought I was remembering that correctly because I'm pretty sure I remember me beating his stupid ass Inteleon.
Yeah, that's the one thing about Nimona. Picking
Meowscarda.
Yeah, Meowscarda for me. I kill that thing every time. I always save my AK-47 is the name I named my Skeledirge. I save AK-47 for whenever she pulls out me on Scarlet, and I kill it instantly.
Yeah, because I will say whenever you battle her, right out of the gate, she does not pick her she does not throw out her starter. And literally as soon as she pulls it out, I pull out my Skeledirge too, because I know clean sweep. You know? Kill her.
Stomp them, stomp them.
Yeah, she always saves it for last. That's purposeful.
Yeah. And there are you want to hear the gym leaders and then the Elite Four and then eventually the rest of the storyline. These are the gym leaders in no specific order because technically you can fight any gym in any order, even though the game doesn't really want you to do that. Number 1 I'm talking about is Katie. She was a bug type gym leader. She was a chef.
Baker.
There he is. There he is.
Yep.
She's very forgetful for me. I don't really have anything to say about her.
Yeah, she wasn't really. I mean, to be fair, she was kind of one of the weaker designs when it came to like gyms.
Yeah, she does look like a basic NPC, if you ask me.
Yeah.
That you'd find in like a kitchen or something, like a head chef, insert name.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, the order that you have them in is the same order that I fought them in.
Oh, that's strange.
Is this the order you fought them in?
Let me see. No, I'll say after. Next is Brassius. I did fight Katie and Brassius like this.
Yeah.
And Brassius, I do remember. He's a weirdo dude that has a whip because he's an artist.
He's an artist. Yeah.
And his whole town is based on art. There's a nice little maze, and there's Sunflora just running around this entire place.
The whole town has like a bunch of sculptures and architecture that's literally his design. It's pretty cool. Brassius, I remember whenever he was first announced, I immediately kind of like attached myself to him because I thought he looked so cool. And I had a great time fighting him. I mean, he wasn't super hard because he's a grass type and you have Skeledirge, but I mean, he was just a fun character in my opinion, especially his design. I love his design.
Yeah, he's a cool cat. I like him.
Yeah.
Next, we have Iono, the electric type gym leader. This is the one that they announced, the Belly Bolt.
Yeah.
She is a very energetic, very in your fucking face, bam, bam, bam type of character. I enjoy her. I enjoy her design a whole lot. Her trial was funny. I liked it a whole lot.
Where you're just finding Clavel.
Yeah, he just pops up and he says, I owe these people a favor, and of course I'll hide for her. Because in the trial, you had to find Clavel 3 different times.
Where's Waldo?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
It was pretty fun too, and like he wouldn't be like super hidden, but he'd be like, "Dang, I thought I was pretty good."
And he's wearing in my game, a very brightly colored red suit.
Well, in my game, he kind of fit to the background. He was wearing purple, and it was like at night, but it wasn't hard to find him.
I had aimbot on apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Again, another fun character. I love her design. I love her energy. I will say I didn't realize how many people fucking hate her. Apparently,
I did not even know that because I've seen a lot of fan art.
There's been there's so many people that don't like her, and for some reason, there's just this whole culture of like how much people hate streamers, and yeah, it's really bizarre. And VTubers as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of hatred for VTubers. There was a point where I just didn't get it, but now I'll get like occasional VTuber videos on my TikTok, and I'll be like, "Ha, that was pretty funny." It's just content creators, exactly.
It's just content creators.
Avatar.
They're not. Yeah, I know. Like they're not hurting anybody, and it's like unless they're, you know, I mean they're not causing any harm.
I haven't seen a racist VTuber. I'll say that.
Like my thing is, yeah, like unless they're doing something like, you know, I don't know, I mean, they're clearly a VTuber, so like they can't be like, "Oh yeah, this is what I look like in real life." Like, no, it's not. It's obvious. So it's not like they're deceiving anybody. I don't know. It's stupid. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, there was it was just really bizarre." I was like, I don't get it. I think she's fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fun. Next, we have Kofu. He is a water type. Kofu is a barber? No, he's what is he?
Oh, is he a chef?
Is he a chef?
Fuck
Oh, he
me.
is a chef. I think he is because there is
Because
in the
he
story he wants to buy ingredients.
yeah, because his trial is that you have to go to the market to win an auction for him.
I don't know why I said barber. That's strange because he has no hair.
I think, to be fair, I mean, you wouldn't be. It's probably because of his apron.
Yeah, yeah,
They wear aprons. They would
they
wear
do.
aprons, right? Yeah, because like you would think that like he has little stuff. Yeah, see, I'm looking it up right now. He specializes in seafood cuisine. Also
Yeah,
too,
because you had to. His trial was interesting. You had to buy a certain kind of seaweed that was extremely rare, and it was extremely easy. I just
and
put the highest price every single time, and I won.
he's like, you got to learn how to wait and know when to buy it and meet, or like when to get right in there and buy it. I just waited until the very last second to pay for it with what I thought was probably the cheapest and highest, and I got it immediately first try.
Yeah, it's not like money's hard to go by, and plus he gives you the money to spend, so I just spent it all.
Yeah, well, I didn't do that. Damn, Colt. he
I said,
gave
"Fuck
he,
this dude."
he gives you 50,000. I only had to pay 25,
I had spent it all, son.
and he let me pocket the rest, bro.
I'm just a bad dude.
Nah,
He
he doesn't
probably
understand.
got really mad at me. And on his
He
walk back to his water city, he was like, "Fuck, dude, man. I could have used that money, but whatever."
Yeah, he was so bad. I love his hair too. I should say. That's why I was gonna say you. I was like, oh, it's kind of understandable to think he's like maybe a barber or something, because he styles his eyebrows and his beard like waves. He has a unibrow, but it looks really cool. He also looks like a puppet.
Oh, yeah. And then, you ready for the next gym leader? My favorite gym leader.
I w- I would say he's my favorite too.
It is Larry Beast God Mode normal
Normal
type
time.
gym leader. He is a normal type gym leader. He's not necessarily hard to fight. He's not got strong Pokemon. It's just he's a cool character. He is a business guy that fights in a restaurant that you have to order the right food to be able to fight him. There's this very specific thing that I just said, fuck it, I'm looking up a walkthrough. I ordered it immediately and I beat him very easily. But it's a really cool arena where it's just him like, all right, let's get this over with because he's a businessman.
Yeah, I will say whenever they tell you like, oh, you have to go order this food, I wasn't even thinking about it. I go in there and I order what I thought sounded interesting, and it ended up being the right combination. um Dude was a lot of fun. He's actually the only person for his gym leader picture. He has his face turned away. You only see the back of his head. Um I think that's done on purpose and for fun, because you can clearly tell who he is in the restaurant, but at the same time, if you weren't paying attention, you couldn't honestly pick him out. He's just a normal looking guy, but he's still unique.
Yes, he is.
Because I don't want to kind of like bring down, like I don't want to undersell him. He is really cool. Very relatable.
Yeah, he's just a fun guy. There's more to him than meets the eye. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, he's just a tired business guy who likes eating good food.
And who doesn't?
Yeah.
Next, we have Rhyme, the ghost type gym leader, which I really enjoyed her little setup. You had to rap battle.
Yeah, it was like a rap battle.
And there was a little scene during the rap battle where you could see a little Griever dancing in the background.
Yep, he was popping off on a fucking speaker.
And a fun thing about Rhyme is that she is actually the sister of one of the teachers at the academy. And you
Can you guess
learn that.
what her name is?
What?
I'm gonna give them a few seconds to guess. Okay, time's up. It's time.
Yeah, so it's Rhyme and Time. They both were a rap duo, I think. If you go through her story in the academy, I recommend doing so. The academy teachers portions, very fun and very good information is given there. And they were just Rhyme Time. Very fun.
Very fun. Very fun. Yeah, Rhyme was really fun. Another cool character design, another cool character. I will say the first person who's been a ghost type like gym leader or whatever who is not your usual ghost type. Usually the ghost type people are mysterious, introverted, very much like in themselves, but she is not. She is like energetic, popular, outgoing. It's really different. I really enjoyed it.
And she has a very cool hairstyle that is a skeleton arm.
Yep. I again love her design.
Up next for our 7th gym is Tulip, the psychic type. She is a model,
She's
fashion
designer.
model.
She's a fashion.
Designer.
I think she's a fashion designer / model. Yeah.
So I don't really have much to say about her because like she was there and gone because she was like the busy type.
Yeah. I will say. I mean, her design was interesting because she has these little wings that flutter on her dress. It kind of makes you think she's a fairy type, but she's not. She's psychic.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of a misleading design. She's hot,
Yeah.
But she kind of comes and go. But I think the real kind of cool thing about her was her trial, which is is conducted by the battle studies teacher at the school, which is Miss Dendra. Maybe I spoke too soon on saying I love Larry. No, I love Larry, but I also love Dendra.
She's
Dendra,
not a gym leader.
She's not a gym leader. She's like I said, she's a teacher. You do the trial, which she leads. It's really kind of fun. She's insanely hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a huge crush on Dendra. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, and Miss Ryford. I love Miss Ryford.
Yeah,
Ryford and Miriam the nurse. I love them all.
Oh, dude. Okay, wait a minute. I forgot about Miss Miriam. She was actually really sweet too. I like her storyline too.
Every single teacher storyline is really good. I can't remember his name. What is his name? The home ec, the cooking teacher guy. He's really cool too.
I haven't done his stuff. I've only done a few teacher stuff. I've done Rightford. I've done Miriam. I really enjoy Miriam. I don't think we'll have probably the chance to talk about Miriam. So I'll talk about her right now real quick. Miriam is the nurse, and it's really cool because she wants to teach a health studies class, but she's had the problem of never kind of getting her license or whatever. And throughout the course of the story, if you go and talk to her, you'll tell her, she's like, hey, you want to sit down and just chat about your adventures and stuff? And you just talk, and she gets inspired by you until eventually she gets her teaching license, and she'll try to teach health science or something next semester. It's really sweet.
It's very nice. So if we were ever get a Scarlet and Violet too, she'd be a teacher for sure.
Yeah, and then also too Dendra, I haven't finished her storyline, but literally the beginning of her storyline is she makes a sandwich. You guys will do like you run around, she makes a sandwich, she gives it to you, and she's like, pretty good, right? And you can tell her you can either lie to her or tell her the truth. And the truth is, it sucks. And she's like, oh.
Apparently it was really salty. And
it was just awful. It's kind of funny. But yeah, sorry, I kind of went on a tangent. Dendra is what I took out of Tulips.
Oh, yeah. All the professors, all the teachers are really cool people. I love them all.
Yeah.
And for our final gym leader is Grusha, the ice type, the femboy in the north.
Yeah. You know what? Somebody please just femboy of the North. Yeah,
It just kind of sounds like something from Game of Thrones.
kind of.
But it's this. Grusha is a really cool gym leader. He's ice type, so he's got his scarf that covers his mouth. There was a thing going around where people said maybe he has a beard underneath it, and that's what's like hiding the way he looks for some reason. But it's really cool.
No,
I can't remember his trial for some reason.
His trial was you have to get on your Maridon or Coridon and go down a ski or not ski, a path basically, while avoiding obstacles within a certain time.
Oh,
It's
that was
kinda
really easy. Yeah.
It was really fun too. Grusha underneath the scarf, he just has a regular face. I say regular face, he has a beautiful face.
Yeah.
That's the thing too, is when he was announced, everybody was like, "Oh, dude, that girl is so hot," and it's like, that's a dude.
I'm not gay. I'm not gay.
But then I'm glad some people double down. They're like, that dude's hot.
Yeah.
Dude looks good. Like, I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, underneath that scarf is a beautiful face. He's also a snowboarder. He was an athlete too, and you see that with his competitive nature, with his throwing style. He was a fun character too. I really enjoyed Grusha. The way he throws his balls is like he throws it with heat, man. He throws it like, oh, I love it. I love Grusha. He was a fun guy, and he was like so fucking competitive. He's like, don't blame me for what happens next or whatever. Like, he's gonna beat your fucking ass.
Yeah.
Like, it was really funny, or it was funny because I beat his ass.
Yeah, and he did cry and just beg you to just like, please don't tell anyone, please don't tell anyone.
No, he kind of like he was like, well, it looks like you can back up what you have to say or whatever. I can't remember. He was kind of he wasn't a bad sport, but it's so funny too. I forgot that after every time you beat a gym leader, you have to take a selfie with them. And then
Yeah.
Grusha, you take a selfie with him, and he's like, "What? Oh, come on, man! Like, I don't do that immediately." Like, it's just a funny picture.
Yeah, I love all these little gym leaders, except for I don't hate her. It's just I'm very indifferent about Katie, but I love every single one else.
Yeah, agreed.
They're really cool gyms. And you ready to get into the Elite Four? There's a lot here.
Yeah, let's go.
A lot. There's 4 of them, and then the champion, of
What?
course. Up first this is in order. These Elite Four, the Elite Four, exact order you fight them in. At least these were the order I fought them in. Scarlet. Are they the same in Violet? Hello.
No, you can go.
Are they the same in Violet? I was asking
I
you.
said you can go. They're the same. They're the same.
Number 1 is Rika. She's a ground type gym leader, and she is also very cool. I really love Rika.
Fuck. I forgot about, even though I just fought her, and I remember I've been so excited to fight her because like you said, she's really cool and also has a competitive spirit and has a fun throwing style. I really enjoyed her fight.
And even before the Elite Four starts, there's like an interview segment where it's her in a room and she's asking you like questions like, why should you be a champion, or why should you fight the Elite Four, or like, why are you
doing
trainer?
this? How'd you do this? Ask you all these questions, kind of like reflecting on your journey through this path. It's really cool because she also says, at any point you can fail this portion. Yeah, I like you. It was really interesting, really cool. And she kind of has this like I was saying, she has this like really competitive where like whenever you're talking to her, she's kind of laid back and kind of easygoing and like really friendly, but then whenever you actually get to fighting her, she's very like competitive, and like she'll still keep her hands in her pockets, but whenever she throws her ball, she throws it so hard she spins all the way around like a complete
Yeah.
360. It's really funny. Man, I love her style too. She's just this tall lady, and she has a really nice style with these overalls, these gloves, this everything. I love everything about her. Really, really simple but peak Pokemon character design.
Amen. Really good.
Did you have
Next.
Did you have any problems with her, by the way?
No. I will go ahead and spoil. I had no issue fighting this Elite Four.
I did not either.
I'll say my further thoughts, but when we get to the champion, but
yeah, ground type is easy. Just throw in a nice type.
yeah, I just stomped her. I don't even. I think I just threw in my Lucario and killed her pretty quickly, even though that's not a counter to ground.
I threw in my Seed Titan, dude, swept through. Easy.
Yeah, sorry, Rika. Then the next gym leader, it's all takes place in one room, not gym leader, Elite Four. Is once you beat one of them, the Rika calls in this next one, Poppy.
I forgot about Poppy. Oh my god.
Poppy is a baby with very strong Pokemon that I also easily stomped. Poppy is a steel type gym leader. Easily beat her because Skeledirge counters everything she had.
Yeah. Yeah, she's literally I can't remember how old she was. She's
probably like 5, 6.
5. God, she's just a tiny little kid. Also, too, really fucking competitive.
Yeah.
She immediately is like, I'm going to fucking crush you.
Yeah, she's like, when can the fighting start?
Yeah, I had forgotten about her. So you meet her only once, and then the next time you meet her is when you battle. For me, anyway, you battled her in the Elite Four, and I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "Oh my god, okay." I was so excited. I was like, "Okay, let's see what she does." But then she pulls out Steel type. I'm like, "Oh well, damn. This is gonna be easy."
Yeah, it was a very easy fight.
She also too, as soon as like you beat her, she starts not crying, but she's very sad.
In which it leads into my favorite character, or my favorite Elite Four, I should say. It's an old person that is Larry Beast God mode, flying type.
Yep.
He's back, but he's a flying type, and something's changed. Something's different about him. He's wearing fingerless gloves.
Yep.
They're fingerless, right? Or are they just regular gloves?
I think they're for regular. I think one character has fingerless gloves. They all wear like
Rika has fingerless. That's right.
Rika has fingerless. They all basically have like something that has a symbol to show that they're part of the Elite Four Pokemon League. Basically. Yeah.
And to get him in there, it was really funny because Rika is like, do I have to scream to get his attention?
No. It
or is that the next one?
That's the next one.
Ah, shit.
Which is funny. No, it doesn't take much to get him in there.
Yeah, that's right. Because Larry is a very on time, crucial. He's always there on time.
Yeah, it's so funny when he talks to. He was like, yeah, Gita had to wanted me to be part of the Elite Four, but she said I'd change up my Pokemon type. So I'm curious to see how this does. So
I had a Knackley, not Knackley.
Garganackle?
Yeah, Garganackle. Easily killed him. Wasn't hard.
Yeah, flying types weak to rock. So yeah, it wasn't, but it was just interesting seeing him. I was so happy to see him back. I was like, damn, he's part of the Elite Four. That's so sick. I love him. But then that's where we get into the next one.
Hassel, the dragon type. He is a professor
at the school. Yep.
I love Hassel. This is where Rika's like, God damn it, do I have to scream to get him in here? And she screams to get him in there because he is an aloof, fun guy. I love his story.
Well, the reason why she has to scream is because Larry, for some reason, just talks in his normal voice. He's like, all right, Hassel, come on. And then they're like, say it again. Like, Hassel. And then for some reason, he gets fucking quieter. And then Hassel's like, did you have to get Rika to scream again? And he's like, yeah.
It's very funny.
It's really funny.
If you haven't played his story, highly recommend it. He's got a very fun story, and he's the art teacher. It's very
Yeah.
touching, very nice.
Yeah, I need to do this stuff. I want to go back to the classes.
They're
Because-
long and a little tedious, but they're fun.
They're fun, and you do take something away from them. I got to say, my favorite is probably history because it gives you some important information. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and the Miss Ryford's beautiful. That's the other reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, fuck you. Leave me out in the cold.
Hassel was a fun dragon type. I mean, he wasn't difficult.
I just used whatever Pokemon I had. I just didn't really have anything that would be super effective against Dragon, I don't think. No, never mind. I had Tinkaton, killed him real quick.
Yeah, I was about to say, you probably would have a good time because Tinkaton's fairy. I don't think I had any fairy on my team, but it didn't matter because my team was just a strong team all around, I think. Which
Yeah.
I should mention too. We should probably talk about at the end of this what our final Pokemon teams were.
Yeah. Okay. I can do that.
Yeah.
And then
But, yeah.
You ready for the champion?
Yeah.
The strongest trainer in all of Paldea. Champion Gita, also known as the weak sauce type. I typed that in specifically
Dude.
because, oh my god,
Dude,
I killed her so fast.
I was so sad.
This is the easiest Elite Four lineup and champion in all of Pokemon ever. It was so disappointing.
I had no fucking problems, which, you know, I will take it over fun characters, but goddamn, it was really disappointing.
Yeah, because I didn't have any issues with Sun and Moon and or Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield.
But every other Pokemon game before then, I've always had a little toughness when it comes to
X and Y were so fucking difficult for me. Oh my god, it was ridiculous. But after that, it wasn't too bad.
Nah, this was the easiest one by far. Very disappointing. I wish it was harder.
Because the thing is like the entire time they're hyping this shit up, man. They're like, Champion Gita, she's the La Primera, like she is the strongest. And even then, oh my god, the thing is too is like I have a lot of favorite characters from this game. Gita is one of those because she's just tall, she's hot. I love her hair, I love her design, her suit. I mean, she's like, oh my god, she looks so cool. And the entire time they're hyping her up. And then for her introduction, she says, there's one thing though that people say I have a bad habit of, and that is that I just don't know when to hold back. And I'm like, no, I laughed after because I'm like, yeah, you really don't know how to hold back. That's not true. Because you kick her ass, dude. You sweep the floor with her. The thing is too is that she doesn't have weak per se well, there's some Pokemon on our team that are like, okay, maybe you should swap these out. But there's like one of them is like the way they had her her scripted with her team is like there's I think it's it's evolution of Bisharp. King Gambit or whatever. He has that ability where the more of the Pokemon that like die, the more power he gets. The thing is that she uses him like third. So that means that after you defeat 2 Pokemon, he has like a 2 times power boost, which doesn't make any sense because if you save him for last, he'll have a 5 times power boost, which
makes him really strong.
Which will make him really strong. And I'm like, oh my god! Like,
and she ends with the what is that bulb Pokemon? It's the second evolution.
It's the evolution of Glimmet. It's like Glimera, I think.
Yeah, she uses that last where it throws out like poison spikes.
Poison spikes, which doesn't make any sense because if you
should throw that out at the first.
If you throw out that first, that means every time it gets hit, it's going to throw out poison spikes. And so every time any of your Pokemon come in or swap out, they'll get poisoned. And it's just like They should have. I don't know why they scripted her like this. It doesn't make any sense.
Extremely disappointing Elite Four, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But the story wise, I really enjoyed it. I like the characters. It was a fun time.
I would, yeah. It was still very fun. A lot of good character designs, a lot of good character dialogue and moments. It was fun. It was fun overall, I would say.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the Victory Road Pursuit. That's the first storyline done. No, it's not.
Yeah,
Psych.
because
One more fight. You have to
because
fight Nimona
yeah,
after you beat the champion, because after you beat the champion, you're now classified as a champion trainer.
champion ranked trainer. Yeah,
Yeah, now you can fight her fully with her full strengthened up team. I didn't necessarily have a hard time, but she was definitely one of the harder in-game fights for me.
she was a lot harder probably than anybody I had fought in the Victory
Way
Road.
harder than Elite Four.
Yeah,
Way harder.
So she definitely has some power to her, and that's what I appreciate about her and the end of this storyline, at least, because then it like, okay, at least at the very end, like not only she's supported, but they keep saying like, she finally has a rival to rival her, somebody to rival her in power. And I'm like, okay. And then she, she's not bad or anything. So I'm like, okay, like that's just pretty solid, And the way they too is that you have a fight in the middle of the Mezagoza Square, right in front of the school. Basically
Is
where
it
you're
always there? Because like she had a choice. Like you could do it behind her house, there, or whatever.
She has
I
3
just
choices.
picked that spot.
It's always there. It's always in front of
Okay.
the school. I'm pretty sure because I chose the other one where it was like in her backyard, but she said nah. So I assume
okay.
it's there. But yeah, so you fight her in front of there, and it's like this really good cinematic where she's walking around. They really well done with like her with kind of her I guess swagger or the atmosphere of the situation, because it's like there she's like walking around and you're kind of tense, ready for a battle, and she's like, look at all these people, look at blah blah blah, like all this, like look at where we started, like here we are now ready to fight, and it's just like, let's fucking get into it. And it's pretty cool.
And there's a nice her battle theme here is really good. You can hear a normal battle theme, but it's that but amped up a lot more. It's very good.
Oh yeah, it's really good. And then afterwards, when you beat her, there's this moment, this kind of fake out where she's like has her face covered with her arm, and it's like thinking like, oh shit, like everybody's
crying. Ooh,
yeah, everybody was like, like really just holding their breath, and then she's like, it's this meme. I've seen it memed now where she just starts fucking laughing, and she's like, Pokemon battling, am I right? It's really
let's go
good.
again.
Yeah, no, so that meme specifically is because everybody, like, whenever people, get fucked up in a Pokemon battle, they're just like, just manic laughing. But then afterwards, she's like, let's go for round 2. And then it's just this really funny moment where she's looking at like, what Pokemon should I pull out next? Best rival.
Yeah, I love her. She's great. Any hate for Nimona? Not allowed. Slander. You're fired. Get out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of the Victory Road Pursuit. And she is saved for a later storyline.
Yep.
And I think it's time for you to take over for the Path of Legends.
All right. Did we want to stop it right here?
I was thinking we could get this one and then stop.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
We're not editing that out, so listen to that.
Yeah, listen to that. All right. Path of Legends. This is a storyline where you get to help out Arvin. He is your fellow student, classmate. And this is where you defeat the 5 Titan Pokemon. They're these big ass Pokemon you have to run around across the map to find. They're in different areas. And the whole reason is that you're following the contents basically of this book that he carries around. For my story, it was called the Violet Book, where it details certain things, certain mysteries about these Titan Pokemon, about Area 0, and this facility the Herba Mystica, which is something that the Titan Pokemon are guarding and that they eat, which what gives them their big size. And he specifically is looking for these because he's a really good cook. He makes really good sandwiches. And you're thinking like, okay, like, is that all to him? And he's also the first person you meet, the one who kind of hands off, giving you either Miraidon or Koraidon. And there's a specific reason why he's looking for the Herba Mystica. I'll tell you at the end, because it's really like, it's not what you expect. It wasn't what I was expecting. This is probably, I would say, my favorite storyline.
Yeah, it's
personally
really good. It's hard to pick like a favorite storyline of this one and Starfall because I liked them both.
I liked them all. I just think for me personally, this is probably my number one.
That's fair. It's a good story.
I like. What would you say? No, well, hold it. But anyway, yeah, and you have to. You don't have to, but it's honestly recommended to do this and to do it first. This storyline, by the way.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get into why a little bit, but here's a quick list. So number one, the first Titan you fight is the Stony Cliff Titan. This is Cloth. He's one of the new Pokemon for this generation. He's a big old crab, really cool design. He's based off of an actual real life crab. I think it's the
big ass crab.
Yeah, big ass crab. Cloth. Hold on. Sorry,
because this Cloth is massive. All of these Pokemon are massive because they are Titans. But this one's just chilling on the side of the wall in the rocky area.
Yeah, Cloth naturally is massive. Yeah, he's based off of the horsehair crab.
Oh yeah. Now, I remember.
Yeah. Anyway, Cloth was one of the Pokemon revealed through trailers. I like his design. Number two is the Open Sky Titan Pokemon, Bombardier. It is oh god, my god, man,
it's a pelican bird.
No, it's not a pelican, it's a stork.
Stork, there it is, that delivers the babies.
That delivers the babies. But the difference with this one is that it's a stork that delivers bombs.
Yeah.
That's not a bit either, because literally whenever you're going to go fight this Pokemon, you have to dodge giant fucking boulders falling from the sky because it's so big.
Yeah.
And it's trying to kill people.
One thing I am disappointed about Bombardier is that there's not like a second evolution or like a first evolution. I'm a little disappointed it's a single Pokemon.
It's a one-off. I know. It's weird. A lot of one-offs for this generation, but a lot of bird and dog love, I would say.
And hold on. I don't think dog love should ever be combined like that.
Why not?
But I love the dog Pokemon in this game. They're all great.
Yeah, dog love, man. It's just
Jesus Christ.
What? What do you have against dog love?
Nothing. No, a lot, but not that.
Whatever. Anyway, the Lurking Steel Titan Pokemon, Earthworm.
Earthworm.
I know. I say Earthworm.
Oh, okay.
Earthworm. It's just this really. It looks like a cyberpunk bird, worm, basically.
Yeah, it's a steel worm.
It's a simple cyberpunk looking robot worm. I say cyberpunk robot worm. It's a really also fun design, and it has tiny legs that it'll poke out of its body sometimes.
Yeah, it's a very cute Pokemon. Also, a little sad it's a one-off as well.
Yeah, I agree. It's also a pretty big Pokemon.
So oh yeah.
Naturally. All of these Pokemon are gigantic. These Titan ones. But anyway, Quaking Earth Titan, Scarlet, it's Great Tusk, Violet, it's Iron Treads. Great Tusk and Iron Treads are past and future, respectively, versions of Donphan.
They both look really cool. Personally, I like Great Tusk more, but they both look really cool.
I was gonna say I like Great Tusk more. Iron Treads is cool, but I think Great Tusk looks cooler because it's basically another giant mammoth. And I love mammoths. Yeah. Yeah, really cool. really cool stuff. Then the finally last one is the False Dragon Titan Pokemon, which is Don Dozo and Tatsugiri. This was really fun too. Their Dondozo is a big old catfish, and Tatsugiri is a sushi
Yeah, it's just a little fish that sits on top of a single kernel of rice.
grain.
Grain,
Single
not
grain
kernel.
of
That's
rice.
corn.
Yeah, that's corn. Yeah, and Tatsugiri was interesting because it's straight up dragon type.
Yeah, and
too.
the fun thing about their combo is in the game, you can actually have them both on your team if you're doing like a double battle, where Don Dozo eats the Tatsugiri and it buffs it by insane amounts.
Yeah, they both they work together. They're like a relationship basically kind of Pokemon.
Yeah, which is very rare. I can't think of another Pokemon I bet there is, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
That works
Relationship
like
Pokemon.
that.
Yeah.
I can't remember off the top
I
of my
mean,
head either.
technically, Zekrom,
You have
Reshiram, and Ice one. I can't remember its name.
Yeah, you have some story stuff where Pokemon will be talked about being in relationships, but I think actually seeing it in action is different. Or the first time, yeah. But anyway, at the very end of this, after each Titan, you get a different Herba Mystica. Slowly but surely, you get revealed why. So you find out that Arvin has been wanting this Herba Mystica to heal his partner Pokemon, Mabosstiff. And Mabosstiff is one of the new dogs of this generation. He has two forms. He has his first form, and then he evolves into Mabosstiff, which is, I think it's like it's supposed to be based off of a mob boss, but he's like a big old dark type. Oh gosh, what kind of dog is that?
Oh my god, a bulldog.
No, not a bulldog. It's more like a Saint Bernard.
Oh yeah.
Or no. Oh god.
Cujo?
Maybe it's one of
It's
those.
not
big,
called Cujo, but
it's not called Cujo, but it's just one of those big dogs, that type of style.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it's really, whenever he reveals this, it's really sad because he's kind of he's not an easy guy, I guess, to get along with, but over the course of the journey, he gets more he opens up more, he becomes more nicer to you, like even calling you little buddy. Like it's really, he's a really neat character as he develops and as he shows that, like, he's been doing this because his Mabosstiff got hurt by a Pokemon, and he just nothing could heal the poor guy, and he's just trying to help his dog. I mean, literally.
And this whole time, Miraidon or Koraidon is just stealing these sandwiches from this old and pained dog.
Yeah, it's like Arvin gets so pissed off at Koraidon. You find out why later, actually, but he's just so mean to them. But he does, after a little bit, after the first two encounters, he will make a separate sandwich for them, which is, sweet. And after you defeat the 5 Titans and get the Herba Mystica, Mabosstiff gets back to full health. Oh gosh, it's so hard. It's so sweet. That's why I love this too. Obviously, I'm a huge, sweet spot for dogs.
We're dog heads. We're say it.
Say what?
I don't know. Dog lovers.
Oh, you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, companions, pets, I mean, it's
the concept of having an animal as like a friend.
Yeah, I mean, Mabosstiff too, you find out over the course of the story, the professor, respectively, for whichever game, is Arvin's for Scarlet, it's mother, for Violet, it's dad. They have a very estranged relationship, and Mabosstiff was kind of his only friend, was kind of there. It was just the two of them living together. And it's like now his friend's hurt, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to help him. It's a really sweet story, and I it's like as soon as this gets revealed, it's like it changes everything about Arvin and about this path and why you're doing it too.
Yeah, because he's had a rough childhood. Apparently his mom or dad is just a terrible parent. That's what we think so far.
That's what we think. It's definitely not a good relationship, and you find out more later. We'll talk about it more later, but
Yeah.
yeah, and then actually over the course of the game too, whenever you're fighting these titans, he actually gets his own Pokemon, and at first he says he's not good at Pokemon battling, but then at the very end, Mabosstiff is like he wants to fight, and Arvin's like, "Would you want to fight us?" And so you fight, and all the Pokemon that you got are fully leveled up. They're about level 60. For me at the time, it was pretty difficult. I did not expect going into a level 60 full team battle with him. It really caught me off guard. It was pretty cool though.
Yeah, or he was actually not the easiest fight. I would argue harder than Nimona.
He was harder than Nimona. I absolutely agree. He was harder. It was really surprising, but really cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his story. Great little emotional path.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I guess that's Path of Legends.
that's Path of Legends. It's actually fairly quick, and also too, the more you feed Herba Mystica to Mirai or Koraidon, the more abilities they unlock. And those abilities are needed for traversal. I mean, specifically, what?
Another thing about the Herba Mystica is, if you haven't noticed yet, it's called Herba Mystica, which starts with H and M, and every time you feed Mirai on a Koraidon sandwich, they learn new abilities like flying, climbing, surfing, and this is just them replacing HMs.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty fun.
I didn't notice that, but that's a good catch. I didn't think about that, but yeah, and that's important for traversal. It just makes things easier and more convenient for you. That's why I recommend doing Path of Legends first. Personally,
Yes. And you get to get a little lay of the land because they're all over the place.
yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, that's it for Path of Legends. We'll cut it off right here. So if you're listening to this, Tanner, we're about to go into part 2. So we'll be back.
Yeah.
Beep, beep.
Welcome back. We're going to hit you with the rest of the story now. I imagine we won't. This will probably be the second and final part. I don't imagine we'll go that much longer. I mean, we'll go longer, but that much longer.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The third and final part, or not final, the third part of the story is called the Starfall Street story. It follows you going around to the different Team Star camps with a guy named Clive that is not related to Director Clevel in any way, and just a random weird girl named Penny.
Yeah. I should mention Clive has not been shown in anything. So when he pops up, it's like, whoa, this is a fucking crazy character. Like, who is this guy? He's just a random student that just joins you on this shit. And it's just like, man.
And now that I think about it, I forgot to mention earlier when we didn't really talk about the school, but the school here, it's anyone can attend. It's not kids. It's not just kids. It's anyone that wants to. There's like old men students, old lady students.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
weird.
I was telling Colt this because I was like, I keep fighting these fucking students, but I don't believe they're students because they're just some old ass bitches. But then Colt was like, I think it's a school for everybody. I was like, that's stupid. Well, I mean, it's not. It's kind of a neat idea where it's like, okay, if anybody wants to, start their education or continue it or pursue it or whatever, it doesn't matter how old you have to be. You can, you're always able to. You always have the capacity to learn and to go to school. It doesn't matter what age. So yeah. Still though, Clive though, crazy fucking character.
Yeah, very weird guy.
Very weird guy. Pompadour, pretty cool, I guess.
Very hip and current with the
Very hip
hairstyle.
and current, yeah. Even though nobody fucking wears it.
Yeah.
Nobody else. Yeah, and that Penny girl, I mean, you meet her a little bit in the beginning, but she's just kind of like, what the fuck? Like, who is this awkward
Loser
kid?
nerd.
Exactly.
Just a dumb kid, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And defeating the camp reveals a tidbit of what happened in the past, what made these kids drop out of school and go down this wicked path of Satanism. I
Yep.
don't remember writing that, but I did.
Okay. It sounds like you were possessed by a demon. Yeah, I mean, no, it's satanic. Stars.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. They even say, oh God, what's their saying? Hasta la vista.
Halavistar.
Yeah, that's how they say goodbye or something. Yeah, they spell a pentagram in the air.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's right.
You're right. Well, it's not really, it's a star. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I am right. Goddamn right.
Every team star leader has their own rever room custom to their typing. And I thought it was really interesting because these rever rooms are not like the typical rever rooms that you encounter. They're a massive float things.
Yeah, they're like a custom like vehicle, like a float, like Colt said, a float, like in a parade, but they're much larger than your regular rever room. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and whenever we first saw the storylines get announced, Pat from the AYCH said, "Yeah, that's definitely a Pokemon," and it was. It definitely was a Pokemon.
Yeah, Pat pointed out he was like, the exhaust or whatever on the front engine, it has a tongue, it has a mouth, and it's like that's a completely unique new Pokemon. And we were all like, yeah, that looks to be that case. And so, Pat, you called it. You were right.
Good job, Patrick. We'll get you more treats for as an award.
Mm-hmm.
It's like for cats, cat treats and stuff. Not human, but cat treats.
And not dog.
No. Those are too good. Sometimes dog treats taste like normal human food.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Pat's good, but not that good.
Yeah. I'm going to hit you with the details of who the leaders are. There's 5 in total, and you can fight them any order, even though technically there are some that are really strong, and they're saying maybe you want to go fight these lower level ones before you fight this one.
Yeah.
First up, we got Giacomo, which is a dark type. He is like a computer nerd guy, designer, I think. No, he's not the one that made the suits. Who made this? So it's someone else, right?
No, somebody else made the suits. He makes the music.
Yes, he's the music guy, always on his laptop, looking like a nerd. I don't really have anything to say about him. I thought he was a guy.
I mean, I think he's I think he looks kind of fun. I do think it's funny because he looks kind of like Snai or whatever, kind of like he has that kind of like that grin or whatever that kind of makes him like, okay, yeah, this is definitely a villain. But no, I mean, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he is a nice guy. All these people
are really nice.
Yeah, it's just a sad story.
Yeah.
You ready to hit with the next leader?
Yeah, I think she was like the first person we got revealed.
It's Mela, the fire type team star leader. She is a very cool design. I love her design. She has these really huge red boots with like flames off the side of them.
But they're so big, she has to basically goose step.
Yeah, it's pretty much the boots that SpongeBob wears in that one episode that get deep fried. Exactly like that, if you ask me.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that
Google
episode.
SpongeBob deep fried boots. You'll see them, and there's the ones that are squeaking all the time.
Oh, never mind. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, remember? It's the one where Mr. Krabs eats them, right?
Yeah, he fries them and he eats them up.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember that. Yep.
Cody's sending some crazy shit. right
I'm trying to
now.
think what was her role? Was she the one that made the costumes?
I think so, because she is the one that has all the wild looks and stuff.
Yeah, okay. But and again, I mean, she's like like the fire typing really reflects her too, because she's very fierce, very passionate. At the same time, she's like, also passionate about her design and stuff. It's really nice.
Very good, very nice.
Yep.
Next is the weird kid, Atticus, the
Weird.
poison type. This is the guy that Naruto runs to lunch at full speed when the bell rings. But he was a cool guy.
He was also a cool guy. He just spoke like a oh gosh, he spoke very like uh old, like not old English, but like very formal kind of yeah.
And I can see why he was bullied.
Jesus
Easily.
Christ. He's a
Don't wanna
nice
do it.
kid.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Also too, he's like hidden most of the time. I like his design as well. He's just covered up in like all these like purples and greens and stuff, and then whenever
Yeah.
you do see his face, he's just regular looking guy. Yeah.
He got that drip though.
He got that drip. Yep.
Number 4 on our list is Ortega, the fairy type. He's a little shit with a lot of money.
Yeah.
I summed him up real quick. That was real easy. He's a very angry little kid that cries like a baby when you beat him.
Also, yeah.
Yeah, that's him. I don't have anything to say about him. I just didn't care for him.
No, he's not bad or anything. It's I will say he's very like he's very confident. He's the one that kind of funds everything.
Yeah.
But he he does it because he wants to. Yeah, he's the money, basically.
Yeah, he's the money. Like, I don't think these kids would be friends with him if he didn't have the money, but that's just me.
I don't know about that. They're all
He deserves the bullying.
Jesus Christ.
Eat the rich, okay? The 5th and final Team Star leader here is Aerie, the fighting type. She is a wrestler with like very cool face paint wrestling attire, and she's the tallest of the group. She's very very kind. Like, she's really kind. She has a friend in the Team Star group that was so concerned about her that she was like really, I think she was crying by the end of her little story.
Yeah, it was
Where
like
she's like, "Don't look at me."
Oh, I don't know. I think but no, her friend, she's actually on her team for her base is she was actually one of the bullies who bullied the shit out of Aerie, but then eventually that bully got bullied by other bullies, and Aerie didn't hold anything against her. She took her in and basically and like became her friend. So it was like damn. Yeah, she was like part of the wrestling team for the school. And like Colt said, she has like your standard like like not standard. She has your like exaggerated, wrestling attire, costume. Basically, she has face paint. She looks really cool, and she's like Colt said, really tall. I mean, she looks like your like your tall girl that you went to high school with or whatever.
Yeah, she's a cool character. I really enjoy her. She even has the like wrestler I think heel personality. I think that I'm using that term correctly. Tanner's not here to tell me I'm wrong or right.
No, she definitely has that heel personality. I think. Yeah, sweet kid.
Yeah, all these kids are they're really nice because it turns out they were bullied, and since they got bullied so bad, they said, "Fuck it, I'm not going to school anymore."
Yeah, so the entire time you were there, you kind of, like Colt said, you kind of unravel their story. Every time you beat them, you get more pieces of their past. They talk about how they were basically they were bullied so much, but they decided to defend themselves. They didn't even really do anything. I think they just kind of threatened the bully saying,
I'll kill you.
well, they were like, we're gonna, Pokemon battle you or whatever. And the bullies never ended up actually confronting them, and neither did they. The bullies got threatened so they felt so threatened that the bullies ended up dropping out. And because they dropped out, they assumed that Team Star was like, oh shit, like they're the bullies, they're the villains. And that's
Yeah.
kind of, and they were like, well, shit, I guess we just gotta be that. So they kind of just stopped going to school and stuck to their bases. And I should mention too, the important aspect of this is that this all starts off with this unknown character contacting you called Cassiopeia. They're the ones that orchestrated this. They want you to go to these bases, defeat the bosses. They're the one giving you this information, telling you about the code and everything that they go by, the Team Star code. And they're the ones that have their supply unit run up, which is Penny, actually. She gives you some supplies for making more technical machines, and basically contacting you just through your phone. You never really get an image of them or anything. But after every battle, they kind of give little hints like, okay, they know these people because they know them by, the way they refer to them. They refer to them in a very nostalgic and friendly manner. And they're very specific about how you do this. So it's kind of, it's kind of obvious about their involvement with this operation. I should just mention that because I completely forgot about Cassiopeia.
Yeah.
Also, should mention too, Team Star actually has never met Cassiopeia, nor do they know what they look like. That's just something that's important too, is that after everything that happened, Cassiopeia wanted to disband Team Star. They didn't, and Cassiopeia kind of just ghosted them with the intent that maybe, if they ghost them and say goodbye, parted ways, they'll give it up and go back to school. That never happened. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting story, if you ask me. And after beating the final Team Star leader, the big boss of the Team Star, Cassiopeia, wants to meet you for a final battle. But before you fight them at the schoolyard, because that's where they invited you to fight, you have to fight Clive. And the crazy thing about Clive is, wait, it's Director Clavel the entire time.
Holy fucking shit. This was probably the biggest fucking reveal of the game.
Biggest reveal of this generation.
I didn't get spoiled for any of this. So when this happened, I did not expect it. I literally put down my Switch because I was playing in handheld mode. I was like, I literally had my hand up to my head. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
I immediately started thrashing. I smashed everything in the 5 mile
I had so
radius.
many emotions, so many things to say. I wish they had more dialogue options so I could talk to Clavel.
I just want to know how he did it. I thought he was a student the whole time. I never suspected him of being Clavel, even though there was dialogue options that said Clavel.
Yeah, obviously we're doing a bit. We knew it was Clavel.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious. There's dialogue options too. Like no matter what though, you're like, you say Director Clavel and he never breaks character. I have to give it to him for that. And then at the very end too, whenever he reveals himself, there's another dialogue option where he's like, I bet you didn't realize it was me. And then you can say, I knew the entire time. And he's like, what?
Yeah. It's really funny.
It's really funny. You can actually do a thing I didn't realize over the course of the story. You can occasionally talk to Clavel if you're doing your studies at the school, where he'll ask you certain questions where he'll be like, hey, what do you think of certain popular hairstyles of today? And if you say a pompadour, that's where he gets his inspiration for wearing a fucking pompadour. Is he'll always wear a pompadour, but if you play the story right, he'll assume, or it'll be because you said a pompadour is the style, so he'll choose a pompadour.
Yeah, it's a fun, really fun bit.
It's a fun bit. It's
and
really is.
Director Clavel has been following you around this entire time because he's a good teacher or a good principal, because he wants to figure out what's going on at the school and the bullies and like what happened to these kids to make them leave. He's a genuine, caring guy.
Yeah, he's very genuine. He just wants to understand the situation, basically, because he had put out this ultimatum where, if Team Star doesn't disband and start coming to school, he'll expel them or whatever. But then whenever but over the course of the time, he asks them questions. He takes them aside to talk to them. He wants to know. He genuinely wants to know what's going on. Very nice character, in my opinion.
Yeah, but funny thing about Clavel, for me personally, he was the hardest fight in the entire game. I almost lost to Director Clavel. I
Okay.
don't know what the hell happened.
I will say, Clavel, for me personally, he was my third hardest fight. Dude was tough. I will give it to him. He was difficult.
Like, he was the warm-up for the final boss, which was nothing. Stomped him.
Yeah.
He was the real challenge here.
It was so funny, too, because Director Clavel was like, look, this Cassiopeia guy, whoever he is, he seems like he's really tough. So I got to make sure that you're tough enough to fight him, because he says that, like, oh, I'm Cassiopeia, he very plays it off like, oh yeah, I've been doing it with a voice recorder. That's not true. He just wanted to make sure that you're ready to fight them, whoever they are. Dude was tough. Yes, and it shows.
Yeah.
But I think he over prepared for that.
Yeah, he did. If you ever see an old man in the streets, do not try to fight him, because they are
Why would
rough.
you
They're
ever
strong.
do that? Why would you ever do that?
I'm just saying. Don't try to fight old people. They're strong. After beating Clavel, he allows you to meet with the big boss. And surprise, surprise, what the fuck? Another twist? It's Penny. Penny has been the boss whole time talking to you. And every time she's like, I'm sending a friend to help you or give you these supplies to get HMs from the machines. It's her. She's been following you. Oh my God.
I mean, yeah, you could make a guess.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious that it was her the entire time. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it was obvious.
I mean, less obvious than the Clavel being Clive.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, with the story and with her being mysterious, it's like, okay, it's very obviously her. Also, too, she's wearing a fucking Eevee backpack the entire time. So you can also make an educated guess about what her team is.
Yep, that's right. Her entire team was evolutions. Nothing but evolutions. I will say I killed every single one really quickly and just stomped on them right in front of her as she was screaming for me to stop.
Dude, not difficult at all. I literally every time I killed one of her EVs, I was like, damn, that's tough, bro.
Yeah, as soon as I killed him, I was like, all right, I have a Pokemon
Next.
that can easily counter that. Swap.
Yeah.
Swap. It was just me swapping until
it was me
I killed them
swapping
all.
because it's like she has a Leafeon, Umbreon,
Sylveon,
Jolteon,
Jolteon.
Jolteon.
That's it, I think.
And a Vaporeon.
Vaporeon, yeah.
Easy counters.
Killed them all with ease. But the best part about her battle is her battle music. I love her battle music. It's so good.
Her battle music was insane.
I highly recommend, if you don't know her battle music, look it up right now. Her battle music's real good.
It did not fit the vibe, in my opinion.
Knowing her character type, it does fit. Because like people
fit.
like her listen to that kind of music.
I know. It's just kind of funny how fucking easy it was to kill her.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the fighting situation.
I will say it was funny whenever she does her little battle intro, whenever she does a little smirk, like, oh yeah, this bitch is really gonna get me, huh?
And I was expecting something hard after Clavel. I was like, damn, this is gonna be hard. Let's do it.
Me too. I was, because I did not expect her whole personality is based off of evolutions. And the thing is too, is like she has, I want to say, so she has dark, fire, and fairy in her evolutions, which is based off of her friends typings, but there's no fighting, poison, or there's no fighting or poison EVs, which I think that's a missed opportunity for them to include new evolutions. So she
Yeah,
can.
I was really disappointed they didn't add another evolution this gen. It's
I.
been when
It's been
X and Y was
years.
the last one.
Sylveon, dude, like easily Sun, Moon, Sword, and Shield. 3 evolutions, 1 per each one. You could easily fill those. Like it would have made so much sense for her to have Fire, Poison, Fairy, Fighting, and Dark. Like that's her lineup, and then her 6th one would be whatever is her personal favorite or whatever fits her personality or something. I don't know. Like that, me personally, would have made more sense.
Or it could have just been a buff as shit Eevee.
Buff as shit Eevee, yeah, that too. Um, it could have been a shiny Eevee. I don't know.
Missed a chance with her team, if you ask me.
Absolutely missed a chance, dude. A lot of missed opportunities in this fucking game. Sorry.
Yeah, it was. There's a whole lot of like I enjoy the story and character types, but when it comes to the actual gameplay, it's like, I would have preferred something else.
Yeah. And, and the thing is too, is if she did have like a buff Eevee, if they had a gimmick like terrestrialization or whatever, they could easily put that into that as well. So like you can easily even though this is a tiny little Eevee, it's like if it has all these buffs and stuff, I mean, you can make it at least fairly enjoyable, fairly difficult. I don't know.
Yeah, nah, it wasn't. It wasn't really
Memorable? I don't know.
Memorable in the sense of I remembered how easy it was to stomp them and how good the music was.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the end of the Starfall Street story. And
Maybe we should talk about how it actually ends though, like after you fight her. Do you
oh
remember?
yeah, that's right. After you defeat her, the Clavel's like, "I'm so sorry. Y'all can come back to school."
Please come back, my little precious children.
So all the kids are pretty much saying that, "Yeah, we're gonna go back to school. We are dumb as shit. We don't know anything."
Yeah, it's a really funny moment because you so I should mention too, whenever you fight Clavel, Miss Time comes out and just chews the shit out of Clavel, and Clavel's like, "Wait, stop, please, no." And then also too after this, all of Team Star comes out and they're all like, "Holy shit!" Like they're walking around. It's like another cinematic moment where they're like, "So this is our leader." Like they've never met Penny or Cassiopeia, so they're like, hey, like, we have nothing against you or anything. And I will say the one thing I remember about Giancomo, his character is at the very end, whenever you get done with battling him, I think Clavel asks like, what's your treasure or whatever. And Giancomo says, well, Team Star, my friends, that's my treasure. And that's where I'm like, okay, Starfall Street with kind of its lackluster kind of contents to it, I will say I kind of enjoy the part where they're all like, Team Star is my treasure, like, for my treasure hunt, like my friends, that's my treasure. I love that. And I love how you have these characters that look like villains. They're not. They're all a bunch of friends. They're all a bunch of goofy kids. And at the very end, they do their little hasta la vista, and also Clavel chews them out. He's like, what the fuck? But then he says, here's the thing. Team Star bases, you can keep them. We'll set them up as some kind of like training
Yeah.
camps or something. It's kind of a neat idea. And then also too, Penny reveals that she also was able to give you LP because she hacked in the Pokemon League's money system and was giving it to us. So
And then Clavel's like, "What the fuck? That's going out of my paycheck, you stupid shit.
he's
Why
like,
would you do this?"
that goes over me. What the fuck? So they had to get in Gita, and then Gita was like, that's
I'll have
pretty
you hanged for
impressive.
this.
No, they have her work for them basically to fix their system and also like do stuff for them. So basically like not really punishing them, but at the same because they're kids, and you kind of I think it's a nice little ending, especially for what happened. I mean, you have these characters who are very understanding, and so I think it comes to a nice conclusion, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a nice little conclusion. And the fun thing about the stories is that every time you complete one of the 3 stories, the Nimona, Arvin, and not Mabostif, Penny
I
they
wish.
say, yeah, just Mabostif says, if you need me, just call me. They all say, like, just if you need something, hit us up. We're always there for you. You're our friends forever.
Yeah.
And surprise, surprise, you need them all for the final bit of story. Because in the Arvin storyline, we didn't really cover it that much.
Well, yeah.
Because it would spoil a little bit of the fun.
Yep.
Is that in Arvin's storyline, when you go to pick up the book, depending on whatever version you're in, the professor is on the screen saying, please come down to Area 0, but please make sure you're prepared enough and have a strong enough team to come down here with you. And to complete that storyline, you need to be all 3 storylines to get Arvin, Nimona, and Penny to help you down there. It's very nice.
Yeah, because Arvin mentions he's like, we're both good at what we do, but we're probably going to need somebody who's a really good trainer, probably somebody who's champion rank, and then we're going to need somebody who's a good hacker, good with computers, and it's very obvious, Nimona and Penny, because because Penny is, so it's really cool. So I guess we should go into this story then.
Yeah, this is the Zero Gate story. This is what it's called, the Zero Gate, because it's a gate. That's pretty cool. This is it, the climax. All the hard work's been building up to. After completing the 3 main storylines, you have 3 rivals/friends to take into Area 0 to help Professor Sada or Turo. After the professor requested their son to meet them down at Area 0, like I said. Area 0 is filled with Paradox Pokemon from the past for Scarlet and Pokemon from the future for Violet.
Yep. Should also mention too, whenever you do get to the Zero Gate, you have to have Karai or Miraidon fly down there. It's another really good cinematic moment where I think they could have used voice actors.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, is I didn't realize how big the legendary Pokemon were, because I was thinking, like, there's no goddamn way all 4 of us are gonna fucking fit on this fucker.
I mean, technically not all 4 did at first.
I know.
I thought one of us was gonna die.
I thought that too. But no, we all fit. Because Arvin gets on, Nimona gets behind Arvin, and then Penny gets on the back, and they're all just kind of chill. But because they're so heavy, it pushes Mariah or Crydon to the edge until finally get pushed off, and then your character grabs onto Arvin's hand. It's a really cool moment. It's like all these 4 friends going on into the not the great unknown, but going into an unknown place. And Arvin throws you on in the very front because this is your Pokemon
yours.
Now.
Yeah, you're the leader of the group.
Yeah, it's really cool. And
on your way, and once you get down there, you're greeted with, in my opinion, the best music from the entire game.
Good ass music, dude.
So fucking good. I don't think Toby Fox did it, but someone did it. And whoever did it put their whole bussy into it, because oh my god, it's so good. Like, I love it so much. And then there's the final boss stuff music that's so good, I guess. Ooh. It's fantastic.
It's so good.
I love it. And on your way through this Area 0, you can talk to all 3 of them. They're having like interactions with each other, which is very nice, because throughout the storyline, they don't really interact with each other. So this is the part where they're interacting with each other.
This is the first time you get even more of their backstories, which it's so good. It's also really funny. But I should mention too, missed opportunity, voice actors. For the love of God, they should have had fucking voice actors, because let me tell you, I did not like the subtitles they had. They were white and they were small. I played it on my TV and I could barely see them. And
sometimes I didn't realize they were talking.
Me too. I did not realize they were talking because they don't speak. So literally I'll be walking and then I'll see, oh shit, they're having a conversation right now. What are they talking about? And it's so annoying. And the thing is too, is that Area 0, it's not necessarily bright, but there's this white tint to it that's kind of shiny. It makes it hard to read the subtitles too.
Yeah, they just need to have voice acting for moments like that. And I liked that moment. It was a beautiful moment. Just give me the voices,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really fun kind of experience going down there. There's a really funny moment too where they're talking about their parents. It's revealed that Nimona's father apparently is the one that owns the Rotom phone company, which they kind of get into like, oh, well shit, like Nimona's kind of a rich kid too.
Yeah.
Um, and then Arvin talks about his past. He talks about how his mother wasn't there for them. They were not home. It was just him and Boston. And then Penny's kind of normal.
Yeah,
There's
Penny's just a bullied kid.
Yeah, it was so funny because Penny was talking about, "Oh, I hate my dad. They always give me little nicknames like Pen Pen." And then Arvin's like, "Damn, that's a pretty big bummer for your dad if he knew you were talking about him like this."
Yeah.
It was so funny. I was like, Arvin, light her ass up. Because I was in agreement. I was like, man, that your dad sounds kind of fun.
I think Arvin should have just said, yeah, my dad's never here. So, yeah, it's nice. It's just, I love it so much. And throughout your journey to the bottom, Sato, or the professor, is requesting that you turn off these locks, these machines, to be able to actually get to the final lab at the bottom. And on the journey down, in each new laboratory, you'll find one that's been exploded and destroyed, and you don't know why yet, but you find out later.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, reaching the bottom of Area Zero reveals a lab where the professor has been hiding out for the entire game. And then here's a huge thing. Turns out the professor has been dead for years after an attack from the evil, not evil, it's the more aggressive.
It's more aggressive, more mean, territorial.
Coridon and Maridon. Because it's. Oh, man.
It genuinely, okay, like seriously, this is probably a crazy reveal in my opinion. Like I was surprised. I was like, "What?" Because
Yeah, I was like really excited to meet her because I was like expecting something like really badass or something, but it was really sad.
it was just really sad. I mean, oh my god. I've never been so emotionally invested in a story from a terrible game. Not terrible, a bad game. Um Spoiler. But anyway, yeah, so you get in there and you just see the professor sitting in their chair. They look like they're asleep, but then they boot up, and that's when immediately like you're like, "Ah, fuck. That's not the professor."
Yeah, turns out the professor we've been talking to the entire game is an AI made from the memories of the original professor.
Yep, the
They've
professor
just been talking to you the whole time.
the whole time. Yep, the professor made this AI version of themselves to help them with their work, to basically be their assistant, to be the most like not useful, but like basically like it's just a copy of him or her. So they know everything and they do everything the same as them. So they're the most efficient. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and Arvin does not get a chance to like mourn the loss of his
it's
mother.
so fucking sad. I feel so bad.
It's really, really sad because he almost had no one. Mabalstiff almost died.
It's brutal. And yeah, and we also do meet the more territorial Karai or Maridon. What ends up happening is we get to the final base and it appears, and our Mirai or Koraidon is very scared. But it enters the base. We have this little bout with a bunch of the Paradox Pokemon, and we come in there, and then our AI professor puts the legendary Pokemon in a Master Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the whole reason you're called down to Area Zero is to turn off a time machine that's leaking future and past Pokemon into the current world.
Yep.
It's really, really cool, fun stuff.
It's a crazy arena too.
Yeah, because the Area Zero is where the terrestrialization crystals are. because a massive meteor hit here, and on that meteor is the crystals from the terrestrialization R. And this whole room is nothing but terrestrialization crystals, and apparently they can be used for time travel.
Yeah, it's this whole thing where they have so many. It has some kind of like properties, you know, where they're able to. It's like all like the whole room. It looks like it's a bunch of crystals. I don't want to say it looks like a giant mirror, but it looks like a bunch of like honeycomb style, clear looking crystals decorating everything.
Here's a movie that everyone knows. If you've seen the movie Skyscraper, it's kind of like that room at the end of the movie where the Rock almost dies in.
Shut the fuck up.
Am I wrong?
You're wrong. I don't remember that movie. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. I don't really remember much about it either, but there was like a giant room with mirrors all over.
I think I don't remember. And then also too on the top, in the very top of the room, is the giant machine itself. It's oh gosh,
very futuristic.
Very futuristic.
Sci-fi.
It's very cool. I can't really describe it too much. It's just you kind of got to see it for yourself. It's a really cool design.
It really is. And you find out that when you turn off the time machine, the AI says, like, when it turns off, the defensive measures are going to come into place, and I'm not going to be friendly. I'm going to try to stop you from turning off the time machine.
Yep.
And they were right, because right as you turn off the time machine, the AI becomes aggressive, and it turns into the final battle.
It's a really cool final battle too.
Because the room starts to change, the floor raises up, so she's now on a massive pedestal, or they are on a massive pedestal, and they look down on you and saying, "Let's do this." And that's when you get to fight the Koraidon Miraidon.
Yeah, it's at first though, I should say too. So when you start off the battle, you know, their eyes, their irises turn blue. Their what is it? The white part of their eyes turn black. They kind of, their hair raises up a little bit. They're much more aggressive. Like Colt said, they're on this high pedestal to kind of be like, to really show like the more you get like a feeling of like how much more powerful they are than you, to kind of be more intimidating, to be much more oppressive, because also too, whenever they're battling you, the way they speak is like, you won't, like, we're gonna defeat you, like you won't be able to fight me or whatever, like this is the skill that you bring down here to fight me or whatever, something to that extent. And also too, every time they put a Pokemon in the battle, they don't throw it, they just literally drop the ball.
Yeah.
And they use Paradox Pokemon the entire time. I will say
tough fight,
because this, I in terms of fights, I think there's one I'm forgetting, but I think this, with second being Irvin and third being Clavel, this is probably the toughest fight in the game. And I say that because on my game, he has the future version of oh god, that fighting Pokemon. What is it called? Is it Iron Hand, the big
Hariyama,
the future version of Hariyama. For some fucking reason, it uses Drain Punch, and Drain Punch drains half of the health of my Pokemon.
Owie.
So let me tell you, man, I was in a very desperate scramble to have to revive Pokemon and to beat this one freaking thing. It was ridiculous, dude. And then Iron Valiant, oh my god, so difficult.
That's the Glade, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Iron Valiant was really strong. It was insane. It was a very tough fight, but it was a very cool fight. And after you defeat the professor, you go into another battle.
Yup. This is where I almost lost.
Okay, but I think that's done on purpose.
Okay, all right.
It's done on purpose because so in this one, the Paradise Protection Protocol activates, which is another failsafe where the professor has it's basically another AI, a battle AI. Um this time the AI professor looks more corrupted with crystals growing out of them. The font of their subtitles changes. It's really they're very glitched out and it's really cool. And this is where they pull out their Koraidon or Miraidon. It's like a straight up boss um health and everything. And like Colt said, you almost lose no matter what. Tough fight. Such a tough fight. And that's done on purpose because you have to use terrestrialization and then you just sweep with that. It's cool though. It's a really cool fight in
Yeah,
my
it
opinion.
is. I love the way the professor looks in this moment.
Yeah.
Professor Sada with all the like terrestrialization crystals all over her, and she's like freaking out. It's really cool.
Yeah. And I should mention the reason why this even happens is because the professor thought that if there could be some way for future and past Pokemon to coexist in the present, and at the same time, they wanted to make a paradise for their family. They were doing this with the intent of um, making a paradise for them and their son. Um, but that ended up being them neglecting their son and then dying. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a sad because like right after you beat the Koraidon Miraidon, the whole apologizing and like being kind to Arvin, very emotional.
Because for a moment it feels like because the professor AI shares the same thoughts and feelings, but it seems like in this moment it was not only the AI but really the professor coming through and being like, you know, you've grown up. Like, oh no. Oh man.
Because the professor may be dead, but all we are is just our memories. So essentially, that was the professor.
That was the professor. Yep. He this I mean, it saw Arvin as his son too. And it was really emotionally and really brutal. Um, he's like, oh my god.
It's very sad.
It's really sad too. And the entire time, and the thing is too, is that Arvin has been kind of like hinting, at that, like, because Arvin's not stupid. He's been thinking like, he's like, this guy, he's not my dad or my mom. He's like an AI or something, because there's like moments where you kind of get that hint as well, where he has to reboot, quote unquote, and then it's like, well, shit, this isn't the professor. It's like a computer or something. And Arvin's like, yeah, it you know,
And it's a very emotional ending that has once finally defeated, the professor's AI goes into the past or the future, depending on what game you have. And that's when you finally turn off the time machine after the AI leaves.
yeah, because the AI and the time machine are linked. So as long as the AI exists within the same same time as the time machine, it will continue to be on. So they decide. It's also really sad too, because they're like, the professor and we neither of us ever got to go on our own adventures. So you know what? I'm gonna go into the past or the future and go on an adventure that the professor would have gone on to.
I want to see that game.
I
I
would love
I
to.
really hope they do a Pokemon Legends. Uh, they make up a third legendary for Scarlet and Violet. I want the next Pokemon Legends game to be a past version of Scarlet and Violet's region, or a future one, for because I want to see this storyline continued in a little way. It'd be nice to see Sada
I know,
or
because
Turo.
more a more a more polished version. I think it'd be cool to just do Pokemon Legends Scarlet and Violet. I think that'd be kind of cool. because, and the thing is too, is it's revealed that, obviously all of the Paradox are past and future versions of Pokemon. Same thing goes for Karai and Miraidon. We get to meet Cyclizar. So Karaidon is the past version of Cyclizar, and then Miraidon is the future version of Cyclizar. I think that's interesting too. I don't know. I really like these concepts. And I didn't know it was a lot of debate, but apparently people are like really furious about the legendaries because they're like, they're not really legendaries because they're just the past and future versions of this regular Pokemon. And technically, in the respective times, you can get these Pokemon because there's multiple of them. But in my opinion, I think they count as legendaries because they are legendary for the time that you're in.
Yeah, it's very specific to the time. Like, if Miraidon were to time travel to the past, it would be a legendary. Koraidon wouldn't. But if Miraidon traveled to the future, Miraidon would be a legendary. Not Miraidon. Koraidon would be the legendary. Miraidon
Yeah.
would not be the legendary in the future. It just
Yeah.
depends on where it is and like how many of that Pokemon exist in that current time.
Exactly. And I think since you're in the present, Miraidon or Koraidon don't exist in the present. So that makes them legendary. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And then it doesn't really apply to other legendaries like Palkia or Dialga or Arceus because they are one of a kind. I know that's a lot of people's criteria.
Here's my thing though, is that people are like, we need god level legendaries. Like, bro, we can't have god level legendaries all the time. There's only so much, I think it's more creative just to have these really tough, really strong, really cool Pokemon to be legendaries rather than to be like god of, space and time. And,
Even though I love that.
I love it too. Don't get me wrong, but like, I don't know, like there's only so much you can do especially when you've covered so much of that already. I mean, you covered space, time, creation, earth, water, fire, air,
It's pretty much everything at this point.
a mind, the stars, there's an alien, a
Sun,
dragon,
moon.
sun and moon. Like, there's only, I'm just saying, like, I think it's much more interesting to have just these Pokemon that are like I said, just unique, really strong, and for their respective whatever, they're just legendary. I don't know. I don't know how to, better explain it other than that.
But yeah,
And
I like them. They're cool.
And I just say that too because again, it's been for some reason big debate, and I'm very surprised by it.
Yeah, they can go sit and spin on my fist. And as the game ends, Ed Sheeran comes back. You forgot. You thought you were safe. Ed Sheeran jumps through the screen with a old rusted screwdriver and stabs you 50 to 80 times. Then he steals like something in your house. I don't know what he stole yet, but he jumped back through the screen after he stole something from my house.
Yeah, and that's where he sings his song Celestial.
Yeah, he's like, a luck of I can't even remember the lyrics, but
Celestial. That's all I remember.
that's not it. But
no, he says Celestial in the song. Celestial, like that.
It's not good.
You didn't sing anything.
It's Ed Sheeran.
You just. Okay. I mean, you're right. It is Ed Sheeran. I didn't like it.
I didn't like it. I think it was dumb for Pokemon to be like, all right, you beat the game. This really emotional moment. Because, like, doesn't it end with like a grave shot?
No.
Okay, I made that up in my head. Never mind.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I will say the game ends with you guys on your long walk home. You're tired. And then, Nimona is like, you know what? Let's take the long journey home and just have an adventure, just kind of explore around. And then Penny's like, let's make sure to get some snacks. And then your character is like, yeah. And Arvin's like, oh man, come on. My dad or mom just died.
Yeah, like, let's go on an adventure.
And
I don't have time to mourn.
And my Miraidon like pushes him up and like, come on, we're doing this. And he's like, all right, let's go.
And then immediately Ed Sheeran stabs you to death. It's weird. I don't like it at all. But I did like the ending. I just don't like the Ed Sheeran jumping at me immediately.
I was gonna say I do like the ending of all of us, like, going on more adventures. I really, really think that's wholesome, and I do think it's funny because also too when you're in Area Zero, everybody just talks about. They're just all like, "Man, Wenzel." That's my character's name, Wenzel. They're just like, "He's such a good guy. He helped me do this stuff." And then Arvin's like, "Whoa, whoa!" Like, I had a pretty cool friendship story with Wenzel too. Okay.
Yeah, they're dick riders, so get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, so it's really good. And I mean, yeah, you're friends till the end, basically. You do get some resolution though with Arvin. Arvin does say he's like, I didn't really know my parents, the professor, and it is sad, but there's nothing really I can do. So I'm just gonna try to get back to school and do some work and do my best, basically. So you have that, but anyway, Ed Sheeran stabs you with a rusty screwdriver while singing Celestial.
Yeah.
Now I will say the vibe fits. Don't get me wrong, the vibe fits. But
Yeah, it
the
fits
song,
right up my butt.
what, you wanted fucking death metal?
Yeah.
Pokemon, do a collab with Ghost.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty sick.
How in the world would that make any sense?
I think it'd be cool to have like Pikachu with Papa Emeritus face paint.
I don't know if they can put satanic imagery in their game, Colt.
They already do with Hasta La Vista, these little demons. Oh man, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Also, Pokemon are demons.
Yeah,
Controlling
you're
our
right.
children.
I'm sorry.
And that's why you shouldn't play any Pokemon games.
Yeah. Go to church.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the end of the episode, guys. So good night.
Yeah, good
Do
night.
not play Pokemon.
If you play Pokemon, you will go to hell and burn for eternity.
Yes. But hey, since we reached the final end of the story, we might as well say, what was our teams?
Yeah, you want to go first?
I can go first. And the funny thing is, I have all of mine laid out on Cerebi right now. I didn't realize Skeledirge, that's my first one up on my team, named AK-47, is number 911 in the Pokédex. So he's 911 in the Pokédex. Thought that was interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Next up on my team is Tinkaton, named Truck Fan, because whenever I caught it, it was the second form. And I said, what, this thing looks like it's a fan of trucks. So I named it Truck Fan.
Fair. Good name.
Then for my third is a shiny Lucario that Cody, my brother, traded to me because he knew I loved shiny Lucario. Because when I was little, my first shiny Pokemon I ever I hatched it from an egg, was Riolu. And he traded me a shiny Riolu, and I said, hell yes, I'll take it. And I still haven't found a Pokemon that he would like shiny. So I can't repay him just yet.
Yeah.
Next on my team is Garganackle. That dude has been consistent and very strong throughout the entire game. I honestly thought I'd change him out, but the later I got in the game, I realized he's actually pretty good. So he just stayed.
Yeah.
This next one I did not expect to have on my team at all when I first started the game, but I got lucky and found a shiny Ralts that I evolved into a shiny Gallade. Beautiful shiny. I love shiny Gallade, so it stayed on my team. I named the Gallade God Killer, but then I changed it to Gungnir after I realized that name goes hard and it kind of fits him.
Yeah. Yeah. Good name.
The Spear of Odin, if you did not know. And my Garganackle, I cannot remember what I named it. I don't know.
I think you named it Minecraft.
Yeah, I named it Minecraft. I named my Lucario Thorfinn.
Yep.
After my favorite manga character of all time, Thorfinn Karlsefni. And then next on my team, I had a Baxcalibur named Bloodseeker. I love that dude.
Very good.
That was my entire team: a Skeledirge, a Tinkaton, a Lucario, and a Garganackle, and a Gallade, and a Baxcalibur.
Nice.
Very good team, if you ask me.
It's very good. Yeah. Great names too.
Thank you.
Say that. AK-47, top tier. I still remember the night we talked about naming our Pokemon, and you said you're gonna name yours AK-47. I was like, damn, that's a good name.
Because he was a little crocodile baby. So
Yep,
I feel like that's a good name for a crocodile.
absolutely. My team was Skeledirge, of course. I named him Hunk. I just thought he looked like a hunk of crocodile. I don't know. Next up was Annihilate. Named it Broly. I was very surprised by Annihilate. I remember when it was announced, or when there was a leak about Primate getting an evolution, I was like, whoa. I was like, it's about damn time. And then you get to play the game and you see it, and it's like, whoa, this is sick.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome evolution.
And literally, it's Primate if it died because it was so angry.
Yeah, which is very funny.
It's
Its
very
blood
funny.
pressure gets so high, it's like, fuck! And then its heart pops.
It dies and it becomes a ghost fighting, which it's really strong too. I had it on my team all the way to the end. I love him. And oh god, such a great design. Next up is Clodsire Fudge. Just a really good good boy, good hunk of chocolate.
True.
Love him. Next up is Sea Titan. I will say I was gonna have him on my team already, but on a very just random coincidence, I see a shiny sea turtle, and I'm like, is that just the shadow? But then when it came out of the shadow of the cloud, it was still dark. I was like, holy fucking shit, that's a shiny sea turtle. So I caught it immediately, evolved it. Let me tell you, shiny Sea Titan, probably one of my favorite shinies ever.
It does look really sick.
It's so sick. I named it Kujira, which just means whale. So cool. So fucking cool.
That orange and black goes so well together. It looks so nice.
It's so good. Oh, it's so good. Next up is Baxcalibur. I did not expect to have Baxcalibur on my team, but after careful consideration and also too looking more at his at one of his special moves, I was like, okay, this is just Godzilla.
Yeah.
So I added Baxcalibur. I named him Zilla, of course.
Of
Really
course.
solid Pokemon. And then finally, I did not expect to have him on my team because I wanted to have a little bit different from Colt's team, but he just ended up being on there. He's a solid Pokemon. That's Garganacl.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Solid guy. I named him Thing after the Thing from Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, that's a good name.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's a Thing. But yeah, that was my final team that I carried all the way to the end. I will say though, I do have another my current team right now that I use now just for like any sort of cleanup of like little details or for cleaning up the Pokedex or whatever, or just to have on my with me. It's still Skeledirge, still Annihilate, still Sea Titan, but I swapped out my last three. I have Iron Bundle, which is the future version of Delibird. Named him Jack.
It's it's apparently a very strong Pokemon. He's viable.
Very strong. I was like, okay. And also too, over time, I was like, I really like this little robot bird. So I added him. I was like, he's a tough dude. Ice and water. So yeah, and then I recently got the legendaries. I have Shin Pao. Named them Sugar Plum. They are the ferret weasel looking Pokemon with swords for teeth.
Actually, it's one single sword that was.
It's one single sword that's broken. Yeah, it's broken. It's so sick. Ice and Dark, and then my final one is Wo Chen. I named him Nito. He's a dark grass snail.
Yeah, and he looks sick as hell.
He looks so sick. I was like, this is a cool design. I gotta have him on my team. So, yep. Pretty sick. The 4 legendaries are really cool.
Really, really cool. I love every single one of their designs. Because I saw the leaks, whatever they were first leaked, and I liked their designs. But seeing them in motion is so much cooler than seeing a still picture.
Oh my god. They are so sick. And then also too, their battle music. Oh.
So good.
It's some of my favorite Pokemon music. It's so sick. Yeah, I had a blast getting those. Those were so cool.
It was super easy, because like this morning, today, as of recording, not this morning, but this afternoon, I told Wenzel, yeah, I haven't caught them yet, and then I realized like probably should catch them. It's not that hard, and like within 2 hours, I had caught all four of them. Probably took like an hour and a half tops, but it was super
Yeah.
easy and super worth it because they all are really cool. The only one that gave me an issue was Chiyu, the fish, because he has a bounce move that once he bounces in the air, I can't hit him, or I can't throw a Pokeball at him, and I had him damaged down so low that if I were to use a move after he uses his bounce, I would kill him. So I had to keep swapping my Pokemon to prevent from actually killing him. It was very frustrating.
Agreed. I had the same problem. My strategy for getting all of them was, so my Clodsire, he knew Yawn, so I put them to sleep and I would catch them fairly easy. But Chi just kept bouncing up, dude. I could not put the fucker to sleep, and I had to be very careful because I could one shot him.
Yeah,
So I had to use Skeledirge, and I had to use fire. I can't remember what fire move I had, but I had to use one of the fire moves because it was just enough to weaken him, to get him low enough not to kill him. It was stupid difficult. I
and
should
his
also
typing's interesting for a fish. I think this is the first fish that's not a water type.
That's not water. He's fire dark, and I mean he's so cool. He's like a goldfish with beads for eyes.
I love it.
Really cool design. So yeah, his name is Chi Yu. So it's Wu Chen, Chen Pao, Ting Lu, Chi Yu. Ting Lu is like a big old basically moose with a vessel, like a bowl
Yeah.
for like antlers or horns. He's really cool. He's like a rock, I think, rock dark.
Yes. No, dark ground.
Dark ground, yeah. Another really cool Pokemon design. All of these legendaries are really cool, and you're thinking, "Wow, these names, they're not like normal Pokemon names." That's
They're
because
Chinese. They're in the game. They're from the East.
yeah, in the game, they come from a land from the East. There were these objects that were given to this emperor as gifts, treasures, but they turned out to be Pokemon, and it's kind of badass. Wu Chen is basically its its body is made of tablets, and its ability is Tablets of Ruin. Chen Pao is Swords of Ruin. Ting Lu is Vessel of Ruin, and then Chi Yu is Beads of Ruin. And so Shen Pao was a sword that had cut down so many opponents and all of the people or whatever who had used it or wanted revenge. Eventually embodied this Pokemon. Chi Yu was like a bunch of like, it's like basically like a walking disaster fish. It's really interesting. It's really cool
Yeah,
story.
there was one thing I just realized looking at the Pokédex entry. I really like the Pokédex entries for these guys, but
Sick.
the Scarlet entry for Wo-Chien is the grudge of a person punished for writing the king's evil deeds upon wooden tablets has clad itself in dead leaves to become a Pokemon.
Yes,
That's
dude.
awesome. But the violet one is just it's cool, but it's not as cool as that. It drains the life force from vegetation, causing nearby forests to instantly wither and fields to turn barren.
Yeah, you're right. It's not as cool. That is sick.
And then the opposite is for Chien Pao, the Scarlet Dex says this Pokemon can control 100 tons of fallen snow. It plays around instantly by leaping in and out of avalanches it has caused. Cute, very fun. This Violet entry is the hatred of those who've perished by the sword long ago. It's clad itself in snow and become a Pokemon.
Yep.
That's
That's it.
fucking awesome.
It's so cool.
And then the other two are not like that, but they're really cool entry dex entries that each game has their own cool versions of it.
Yeah. It's super sick.
I love these legendaries. They're so nice. It makes me want a Pokemon game in the East, or the East considering the game.
the East, for whatever defines the East in the terms of the Pokemon universe.
Yes, I want to see what that's like, because if it got Pokemon that are this cool, I want to go there.
Because my thing is too is that like these Pokemon, they're Pokemon, but like they look so different from the other Pokemon.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, these
kinda
are
crazy.
legendary because, like, there's no way there's more than one of each. Because reading their dex entries says like Chin Pao and Wo Chin, they're one of a
Yeah.
kind.
Yeah, they're singular items.
But I want to know what other ones are looking like over there.
Yeah, like like is there like a certain defining factor for Pokemon from this region? Like, you know, it's very interesting. And the way, and actually, if you take Miss Rightford's history class, she'll tell you about the Paldean Emperor and Empire and about these Pokemon, and she'll even put on your map the locations of their shrines. You have to do this thing where you have to go take these it's 8 stakes out of the ground to
Kind of
open their shrines.
tedious, I will say.
It's
It
kind
is
of
a little
tedious.
tedious.
It's not too bad, but it gives me, for me personally, it let me explore more. It helped me to catch some more Pokemon because I completely forgot some certain technical issues with the game. Um, I'll talk about a little later, but it wasn't too bad. Um, but yeah, that kind of completes it for the base Pokemon everything.
I mean, before we move on to like our review and mentions of the game, and before where we get negative, want to just say our favorite Pokemon from this gen.
Yes, I'm so sorry, I forgot. You go first. You go
I
first.
can do that. I'm gonna go from like least favorite to my favorite. It's top 5, which least favorite means I love it. Number 5 for me is Wo Chin. He is my favorite of the 4. I just love the way he looks. He looks like a little dude, but he's not little. He's actually pretty big.
Oh wow, yeah, I agree. Wo Chen is so sick.
And his shiny form, these are shiny locked, by the way, so you cannot get them shiny. His shiny form is really cool because he's got red leaves instead of green leaves.
Oh, that's sick.
And then Chien Pao, it's this is not my list, but Chien Pao turns into a doo-doo brown, which is a little disappointing. Ting Lu is very disappointing. It just turns gray, and then the fish turns blue, which I think is really cool.
That's really cool.
My number 4 Pokemon is Farigiraf. I love Farigiraf's design. Even though I never had it in my team, I love Farigiraf's design. It's a beautiful, beautiful Pokemon.
Agreed.
Another Pokemon that I absolutely love, never had on my team, was Rabska, the evolution of Rellor. I love this little dung beetle.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Because the first evolution, it's really cool. It's Rellor. He's rolling around his little dirt ball, and if you get him shiny, that ball is solid gold, and it looks so cool. And then he evolves into Rabska, which is a psychic type bug Pokemon that is now got like a floating ball and is like a shiny metal. It's very cool, very Egyptian looking.
Super sick.
My number 2 is King Gambit, the evolution to the Bisharp. This is the is this the only third evolution we got this gen? From like a past gen?
From a past gen. Oh my god. Maybe. Yeah, I think so. I think there's been a lot of Pokemon, or there's been Pokemon that have gotten evolutions, but I think this is the only one that's gotten has now 3 forms basically.
Yeah. I love King Gambit's design. It's so cool. The way to evolve King Gambit is so fucking annoying. You have to get a certain item that you can only get from capturing Bisharps in this one area. It's like a broken sword piece, and then once you have that sword piece, you have to kill 3 Bisharps while the Bisharp you want to evolve is holding that one sword piece. And then it will evolve. It's stupid and a little tedious.
There's a lot of
it's very worth it.
Tedious ways to evolve Pokemon. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's frustrating. The whole walking Rellor to evolve Rellor into Rapska, you have to walk 1,000 steps without it returning to its ball. It's stupid. I do not
It
like
is.
the tedious evolutions, but it feels rewarding in a way, I guess.
I guess.
King Gambit, though, the cool thing about his design is its hair is actually a stool. So it's like
Yeah.
sitting on top of its hair and it slides around instead of walking. It's looks like an unfinished animation, but it's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
But my number one Pokemon in this gen that I absolutely love, that has one of the more disappointing of the shinies, is Tinkaton. I love Tinkaton so
Oh,
much.
yeah.
The entire lore behind this character is so funny
It's just a menace.
because it just lives to kill Corviknights because its hammer's made out of Corviknight flesh.
Yeah, it throws rocks at Corviknights. Once it knocks them down, it peels off their armor.
It's so good. I love it so much. I just wish that the shiny wasn't just a hammer color change. It's so bad.
Well, I like the shiny because it's the shiny of Corviknight.
Yeah, that is cool, but like just change the body color.
Change the body too. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely weaker.
Yeah, but Tinkaton not weak. Pretty strong Pokemon. I love it. I know it's not as viable in like competitive battling, but it's still pretty strong. It has probably like one of the highest damage moves I've ever seen. What is it called?
Is it Gigaton Hammer?
A Gigaton Hammer. It does so much damage. I love it. It's a very strong move, and she crushes watermelons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
my top 5 Pokemon. Wochien, number 5. Farigiraf, number 4. Rapska, 3. King Gambit, 2. And Tinkaton, 1. I love them.
Nice. Good choices. Actually, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of good choices. Really good gen, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So mine, 5 to 1, same thing. I'm gonna do it the same way. Number 5, Clodsire. I love that boy.
Good Pokemon.
Good Pokemon. His shiny is actually pretty cool. It's just the colors of Quagsire. I think it's
It's
pretty
just
cool.
Quagsire if he fell over on his stomach and didn't get up.
Pretty much, and I love it. Wo-Chan is actually my number 4. Like you, I think it's so cool. I don't know. Like, we have like a few snail Pokemon, but for some reason, something like this, it's so different. I don't know. It's really cool. Really cool. Third is Chen Pao. I love that long boy sword. Probably, oh my god, probably one of my favorite legendary designs. I love it.
It's very good.
Yeah, number 2, Sea Titan. I love Sea Titan. I love that land whale. I love that shiny. Really cool. When it was first revealed, I was like, I have to have it. It's so sick. Oh my god. And then finally, my number 1, its shiny is really bad, but that's not what's important. I love its design. It's Annihilate.
Yeah.
I've been wanting. I know every time when I go back to the old games, I'm like, man, I like Primate because he's kind of
He's just angry.
He's just an angry monkey, and I kind of like that. But I'm like, he would probably really benefit from like another Evo, a final Evo, and he got one. And Annihilate is fucking awesome. Also, that name, Annihilation. That's sick. And he has a cool move too called Rage Fist, where it's a ghost move. It's pretty strong actually. And also too, every time his sound sounds like a bunch of it sounds like a bunch of tree branches like twisting and breaking. Like I
When
don't know
he's using the move, or is just his like normal Pokemon cry?
His normal Pokemon cry. It's like this weird like crunching sound. I don't know how to describe it. I'm trying to. Somebody else said that it kind of sounds like it's like a very angry sound, but it sounds like a bundle of sticks or something breaking. It's so cool. I love it. Such a cool Pokemon. I'm so happy it got some love. A lot of Pokemon got that, and yeah, those are my top 5.
I think that's a good top 5.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, before we move on, I gotta say, shinies this gen,
Suck.
ass. Really
Suck.
bad shinies.
They suck.
I'm tired of these boring ass shinies that are just like a slight recolor of the original. So they're so fucking hard to see in the overworld, and they're just boring in general. I don't like them. Stop it. Stop it, Game Freak. Get
Stop
like
it.
crazy colors. I'd rather have like a gray Pokemon turn to like a fucking neon green. I love
Yeah,
that actually.
neon green, or pink.
Or pink, anything like that, just wild colors. Like Sylveon's pink turns into a bright ass green. I love that. Umbreon's yellow turns into a blue. I love that. Your old shinies were so much better. Now they're booty. Just stop it.
Agreed. I will say I did end up capturing in the wild 4 shinies. First time I ever caught them like this.
And you got some good shiny. You want to say what shinies you got?
Yeah, I got shiny Seatottle, I got shiny Lechonk, I got shiny the goat from
Go-Go.
Go-Goat.
I love that shiny. It's white, isn't it?
It's it's like a white with like a different kind of green. It's very good. It's a really good shiny. It's
Yeah.
solid. Lechonk shiny is really good. I don't use Lechonk, but whenever I evolved it immediately, because I love it. It's just a pig, a normal pig. And oh gosh, what was my other one?
Because you got way more than me this time.
I got 4.
Oh, you got twice as much as me.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm like, what the fuck was the 4th one?
Seatottle, Go-Goat. What was the third one?
Those were 3.
I know, but was it Seatottle, Go-Goat, Lechonk?
There was a 4th.
What?
Hold on. I'm pretty sure I posted it, but I don't know. I don't remember quite. It was Rufflet.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that was one that like is it shiny good? I don't know.
Its shiny's really good. So Rufflet, whenever I saw it, it was this different shade of brown, and I was like, holy shit, that's a shiny Rufflet. Caught it, evolved it. It's the Braviary red that it has turns into this like really nice blue.
Oh yeah, that is a good shiny. Damn,
It's
that
a
is
really
nice.
good shiny. I forgot because I had it on my team for a little bit, but I swapped it out. Yeah, it was so sick.
Hell yeah. And the 2 shinies I've got, well, I've got 3 technically, which is the Riolu, Cody traded me, and then the Ralts I caught in the snowy area that was complete luck. And then the third one, another complete luck. I almost didn't walk up to it because this Pokemon has so many different color variations. And it's a Tatsugiri.
Yeah.
It's a white, pure white Tatsugiri. At first I was disappointed because it was white, but like as I've progressed through time, I think it's pretty cool because I named it Rice because it's pure white and it's a piece of rice sitting on a piece of rice.
Yeah, I forgot you got that. Sick. I liked it. No, Colt's right. There's different color variations. So me personally, if I would have saw that, I wouldn't have thought of it. I wouldn't have thought anything. I would have probably passed it up.
It's the best shiny variant you can get of this Pokemon, if you ask me, because the other ones are kind of eh. But there's 6 variations that you can possibly get of this Pokemon, and I think that I've probably ran away from a different shiny version of it just because I didn't know. And I bet there's people that are listening to this, like, or you too. There's Pokemon that you ran around that were shiny and you had no clue they were shiny. Because there's no overworld indication. That's another thing from Arceus that they need to bring back is the shiny indicator whenever you're near a shiny Pokemon. That was
I will
the
say,
best.
Should we just go into like our thoughts, our official thoughts?
Yes, it's time.
Yeah, it's time.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Yeah, okay.
I'll go first. Okay. So, yeah. So, as we've been saying, this game has a lot of heart, story. I mean, it's there. Like you can, sorry, I shouldn't say the story is there. I'm saying the heart, the work that was put into the story is clearly there, but at the same time, not enough thought was put into it. So we've been kind of hinting at it, but so as soon as we picked up this game, as soon as we started playing, we all started messaging each other like, "Oh shit, we can see why now people are pretty upset about this because the quality of the not only the graphical quality, but just the quality of playing it was bad. I mean, it was just its frame rate was just god awful. It was worse if you were in handheld mode. Um, it did not run like it should. It ran as I will say Sword and Shield ran so much better. And the thing is that I was telling Tanner and Colt this that it runs as if it's their first time putting a Pokemon game on the Switch.
Yup, and it's the third one.
It's
they did
really
better with their
bizarre.
side, not even mainline Pokemon game with Arceus.
Absolutely. Arceus, Sword and Shield, I guess Snap. I don't know anything about that.
Snap was actually people love that game. That game's
People love
apparently
Snap.
really beautiful and
So
runs great.
So you're thinking like, okay, this is a mainline Pokemon game and it's running worse? That's really bad. And then like same thing with graphical stuff because the thing is like, you know, some of the Pokemon had textures to them, which was really cool. I mean, hell, Magikarp shiny, instead of it being yellow, it's more like a gold, which is really cool. There's a lot of stuff they could have done here, but they didn't do it. It's a lot of missed opportunity, in my opinion. So, like I said, the graphical quality and the quality of how it runs, it really factors into my opinion of this game because it really hurt it. I mean, there were points where I had to stop playing because I'd play for so long, it was making me dizzy. I couldn't handle playing it because it ran so fucking bad. I could not handle it. And I usually don't have that problem. I know people who have literally watched me play games or have played games themselves. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm getting dizzy," and I will be fine. But for this, I was actually getting dizzy. Like it was not good. And then they even put out updates that barely did anything. So it's like okay,
I noticed like it runs better in certain areas, but it still runs like ass.
It does. If you're playing on your TV, it will run a little better, and if you're in certain areas, it will run. But if you're in areas like the city with a lot of characters moving and a lot of moving parts, no, it will
15
not.
FPS, baby.
It will not run good. It's disorienting. And then if there's just a lot happening, like if it's raining, if it's snowing, it will fuck it up. It's so bad. And then also too, that I forgot about this issue, but I didn't realize it until after it happened to me, was that me and Colt talked about this where people were saving their games, but it wasn't reading those saves. So it wasn't counting them. So when people would boot up the game, they would go back to a previous save, not their save that they'd done beforehand or the newest one. It would go back to the previous save, and there's no way to recover that, which is bullshit.
Yeah, so if you got a shiny Pokemon or progress so far, bye-bye.
Because I was very lucky, but at the same time I wasn't, because I was so I was trying to get, like, for instance, I was trying to get 999 coins to evolve Gimmighoul. Again, a tedious fucking way to evolve it, because let me tell you, there's a lot of Gimmighouls, a lot of wandering ones, and if you defeat them or find them, they'll give you a coin. If you find the wandering ones, you get 1 to maybe 5 coins. You have a chance to get way more than that. You have a chance to get like 50 or 60. Now, there's the Gimmighoul ones in their chest where you'll always average out at 50 or 60. For some reason, I was averaging at 20 or 30.
Ew.
Which is terrible. And then also, too, you have a lucky chance of getting 777 coins, which is like, there's apparently been a lot of people who have been really lucky, just not me. It wasn't until towards the end when I started hunting for the legendaries that they were putting out 50, 60. I was getting there. But so what I did was I accidentally killed the rune, the fish, the fish legendary that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
I had accidentally killed it, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna reset my game. So I had saved beforehand, so I knew I was safe. I was fine. I was wrong. as soon as I started back up the game, it took me back to I had to start the entire process of getting the legendaries all over again.
Oh God.
Yes. And it took me back to where I was back at 700 fucking coins for Gimme Ghoul. So I had to go back and get 299 coins all over again. I was like, "Are you serious?" I got so mad. I didn't say anything. Like I was like, "Are you?" This set me back like 2 hours. It was insane too. And then I realized that it had actually been doing this over the course of the time I've been playing it, because I remember specifically catching certain Pokemon, but then I was going through my my boxes and there was gaps. And then there was gaps in my Pokedex. I was like, it didn't save any of this. So I was originally at 300 by the time last time I had talked to Colt and Tanner, but I was back down to like 50, 260.
Ugh.
I did not realize that. I was like, no. I was like, how does this happen? So, yeah, there's that. I have heard instances of people's games crashing. I think my game might have crashed once.
My
Um,
game crashed once, but there's been multiple times where I thought I was gonna crash. Like a lot. It happened a lot where the game would like actually lock up, but then it'd continue again because it's performing like dog shit. But one time it locked up and then it really did crash.
yeah,
And when it did, I lost 2 hours of playtime and I had to restart from my last save, which is extremely frustrating.
I see. Yeah. So that's another thing is that right there. Not only that, the tedium of evolving some of these Pokemon is stupid. I mean, really.
Like, you can have some difficult or unique or fun ways to evolve a Pokemon, but you don't need to have some of this tedious bullshit. Like, with what is it? Primate's new evolution.
Annihilate.
Annihilate. You have to use a certain move a certain amount of times without healing it.
Yeah, so that was Rage Fist. So Primate learns Rage Fist. You have to use it 20 times. You cannot take it back to the Poké Center, or else it will reset it. And
You have to use your PP ups or what? Not PP ups. Ethers.
Ethers, yeah, or elixirs. You have to use that. Okay, like, come on. That's annoying. The Gimme Ghouls. You have to get 999 coins for Gimme Ghoul. I thought that was tedious. You have to walk 1,000 steps without the Pokemon ever going back into its ball to evolve some of these, which I get it because some of these Pokemon are walking Pokemon like Bramble, the Dung Beetle. Like, yeah, sure. But like still though, it's like, and there's no indicator of how many steps you walk. That's fucking stupid. And then also the shinies. Like it doesn't make any sense for them to invest so much time and then have players invest so much time for something that's already so fucking difficult and then not make the reward, outstanding.
Yeah.
Like it
I
doesn't make
love getting the
sense.
shiny charm. Like, that's rewarding to me for like completing the decks. Haven't done it yet, but that's a cool thing. But just evolving a Pokemon, that's a lot of work, bud.
It's so much. And then also too, like, so we got to talk about the stories, right? Okay. I think Arven's story is not, it like I said, it's my personal favorite. I think it's probably the most polished out of all of them, in my opinion. That and leading up to a continuation basically with meeting the professor. I think that's really interesting and really cool. Um I think Starfall Street, I think that's my least favorite. They should have done better with the writing for that and for making, like, I mean, these kids more, more challenging, more interesting. It just wasn't as it just wasn't that good. Like yeah, I understand the heart of it, especially with bullying in school, but it was like you go up to the base, you defeat the door guard, you go in, you defeat like 30 Pokemon within time limit, bang bam boom, you fight the boss. That's it. Like it's super easy. Nothing crazy. And then Penny ends up being just a complete just wash. Just a complete, like, you can clean out
Yeah.
her Pokemon easily. Again, missed opportunity of the evolutions. Haven't pumped out an evolution in like a decade, I would say.
Yeah, it's been
Something
10
like that.
years.
And then, Victory Road. Victory Road was my second favorite. It's not, and the reason why is because it's not as polished. I mean, you have a least memorable first timer, which is Katie, the bug type. And the thing is, too, is you can choose to do Katie or Brassius. Brassius was way more memorable, but I think you should make them at least both. Again,
What was
misleading.
Katie's challenge, anyways?
Wow,
That's how
well,
rememberable she was.
that's how. Yeah, I don't remember. What the fuck? I don't remember. I remember Brassius. I remember you had to find the Sunflora. That
Yeah,
was
because
fun.
I remember doing that, and it was fun going through the maze.
It was. It was really fun.
I'm Googling it.
Please do. Yeah, so and then Tulip, I mean, she's a hot looking character, but honestly, they need to change her design to make it more psychic. Elite Four was kind of disappointing.
Oh,
What was it?
fuck. You have to fucking roll an olive into a goal.
Oh, yeah,
That was dumb.
that was stupid.
But
Anyway.
arguably the best part about her gym.
Yeah, for real. The Elite Four wasn't super difficult, but they were all really cool, really fun. So I can't harp on that too much. But Geeta, man, come on.
Disappointing.
You should have made her so much stronger. And then, so bad. So sad. Yeah, the thing is like you have these 3 paths. You have a fairly interesting school. I don't know. The like I think, because to be fair, I have gone very little to the school. I think there's like a part way, like, kind of incentive where it's like you're thinking like, okay, there's this class setting, it's class story setting where it seems semi interesting, but at the same time, like, I gotta do all this other shit, man. I gotta go get Pokemon. I gotta go defeat Titans. I gotta go beat up some kids. Like, so I don't really have time for school. I think there should have been a more incentive in there, and also too, I think they should have gotten some voice acting. I mean, they have the money. Like, they have these cinematic scenes. Like, get some voice actors in there, man. Like, it makes it so much more memorable, and it makes it so much more easier. I'm like, the white subtitles is not working for me. Yeah, it's like half and half. Like, well, I wouldn't say half and half. It's like 40-60, 40%. It's like,
Yeah.
there's a good game in there. There's some good qualities to it. 60%, it's a lot of missed opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, for me to like start with my
Go ahead.
stuff, first off, I agree with like 100% of what Wenzel said. There's nothing I disagree with there. I also, to add, this game's fucking ugly. It's not good looking. It's hard to look at times. The textures are ass.
Yep.
Like, the only good textures were on the Pokemon, and like the fact that what is Pineco's evolution called?
Oh,
Forretress. Forretress has a new like cool metallic texture to it. It's not just him. It's like Scizor has one too. It's just a new cool metallic texture that's on the Pokemon. That's the only good texture.
It's really, like, I didn't expect that. It was really cool.
But really though, this game runs like ass. It looks like ass. It's very fun to play when you can, and it's not crashing on you. I mean, it only crashed for me once, but it's really disappointing. I did enjoy my time. I really enjoyed my time playing this game. But holy fuck, man, there was so much here that just went wrong. I'm gonna need them to like cook that next game a little bit longer, the mainline one at least, because I feel like they know what they're doing when it comes to Legends.
Yep. Yeah, I completely forgot about that too. Everybody was like thinking that they would pull stuff from Legends for this because maybe that was their way of kind of dipping their toes a little bit to see what people liked. Nothing.
No, I was
Nope.
thinking that this whole time. They removed so many. Well, they didn't remove them. They just did not take any of the quality of life stuff that we had in
They
Legends Arceus with like the battle cameras. That was one thing I loved about the Legends Arceus stuff is that you could walk around the battle as your Pokemon were battling, and you could move the camera in
Oh,
any way you
fuck.
wanted.
Yep.
I
Yep.
loved the battling system in Pokemon Legends Arceus, and that wasn't even the main focus of Legends Arceus.
That
The
was
main focus
not.
of Legends Arceus was to catch Pokemon. But the battling system was 10 times better, and the moves looked better, and the animations were better. Everything about Legends
Mhm.
Arceus is better.
They've been working on this franchise for so long and they still cannot just pump out top quality improvements. They cannot. I don't know why. Like Colt said, that battle camera, man. The fact that you can walk around. The battle camera in Scarlet and Violet fucking sucks. Let me tell you, depending it depends on the situation, but almost every time, for some reason, you get thrown into a battle with a Pokemon or a person, most usually a Pokemon. For some reason, you go back further to the point to where the camera it like cuts off either your Pokemon or just it's a bad angle, or you get to see under the world. It's so bad.
Yeah. Also, for me, with Tinkaton, her hammer is so
It's
fucking big that
it's
it
so
blocks out the enemy Pokemon. I
oh my
cannot see
god.
the enemy
I
Pokemon.
I didn't even think about that. It's so bad. And then the capture system too. Like that was so cool. And then
That
they
was
just
the best capture system in any Pokemon game ever. I
absolutely
love it.
they didn't even put it in.
We
That was
have a
like one.
crouching mechanic in this game, but it does nothing. The
It
crouching
does
mechanic is
nothing
pointless.
because there's no reason to catch Pokemon in tall grass anymore. There's no reason. So I don't know why they added that in there. Oh
Like I
my
knew this game made me mad, but I didn't realize how mad it made me. It's just it's not I shouldn't say mad, disappointed.
disappointed.
It just sucks that
Be-
it's so disappointing.
yeah. Oh my god. Because like I mean, like Colt said, I still had fun. I put in a lot of time into this game, but I'm keeping track. I'm taking notes. Like I'm just not like some mindless consumer or anything. Like no, I'm paying attention to this, and I mean I think a lot of us, especially Sword and Shield, it got so much hate. I don't think it should have, but at the same time, I understand. And I think Legends Arceus was the way to get back that good faith from its player base, and then they took that and just kind of were like, "Oh well, we don't give a shit."
Like for example, Cody, my brother from AYCH Network, he used to be a big part of it. Uh, he hated Sword and Shield. Like he fucking despised Sword and Shield, but he loved Legend Arceus. He said like, okay, this is giving me hopes for the future of the Pokemon games.
Yeah,
He likes Scarlet and Violet. He does like it, but it is very disappointing to him. Like Arceus was the revival, and then Scarlet and Violet was the big letdown after that revival.
absolutely.
What the fuck? Like I
Yeah,
don't really have anything else to say other than like I'm ready to shoot my review score out when you are.
yeah. I will say, I think, like Colt said, they've released a mainline game. If they're working on the next one, I mean, just take the fucking time. Um,
Please.
there's a new card set coming out, so just uh, I
Cards look great.
cards look cool.
I don't collect cards, but I know Tanner's going crazy over it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm ready to get out my score whenever you are.
Yeah, I guess Backlog BoyZ is ready to deliver the review score for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I guess I'll go first. It's
Go
hard to
first.
say. Like when I first beat the game, I was higher. But now that I've had more time to sit with it, I'm a lot lower. I'm a lot lower than I wanted to be. I will say my initial score first and then my final score. When I first beat the game, I was feeling a solid 7.5 because I really enjoyed my
Wow.
time.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed it. But now I'm a 6.5. So currently, I gave Pokemon Scarlet and Violet a 6.5 out of 10.
Nice. That's fair. I will say, before I even beat it, I had my initial, because like Cole, I had an initial score and then I changed it as soon as I beat it. So my initial score was a 7 out of 10. But after beating it, I bumped it down to, because I thought about it and I was like, man, this makes me so sad. It's a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, so like after thinking about it, both of us went down a full number.
Yeah, one number, 1 point, man. Oh god, dude. That's why I was like, damn,
Ugh.
like we really were on point with our ratings. Because I was thinking, I was like, I had a feeling, I was like, maybe I'm too high, because I feel like Colt might be a little lower than me. I don't know, but we ended up being so close.
I don't really have anything else to say other than like Game Freak, let it cook. Let it cook.
Let it
Nintendo,
cook.
let them cook. Please.
Let them cook. I'm curious about what Tanner's score is. He needs to finish it.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to finish it anytime soon. And like whenever he does get a Switch fix, I doubt he'll finish it. But yeah,
Damn,
I guess
Tanner.
that's been the episode. Like so you have a 6, I have a 6.5.
Yeah.
Our final collective score 6.25.
6.25. Yep.
That's it. 6.25. That's the Backlog BoyZ guarantee right there for you.
Yep. Is it essential viewing? I don't know.
I mean, essential in the way, are you a Pokemon fan? Yes.
If you're, yeah,
you will want to play this. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. Don't like all this shitting on it that we just did doesn't change the fact that the first hour to 2 hours of this was us praising it. Because
yeah,
I love this game. I do love this game. I just have a lot of problems with it.
I will say 2 hours was us singing its praises. 2 hours was us being honest about it.
Yeah, it hurts. It really does.
It really
hurt.
does. It really does. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. If
you
you're
got
a
any
Pokemon
final
fan,
thoughts?
no, I'm all tapped out for final thoughts. I said what I need to say. I've been holding this in for 2 months now, and finally it's out. It feels good.
That's it. So I guess you want to do the plugs?
I will try to do the plugs.
I know you can at least do the Backlog BoyZ one.
Can I? Thank you for
God.
listening to us, Backlog BoyZ. If you stuck around, go check us out on SoundCloud or on iTunes, right? Spotify.
Yeah,
Google
pretty much
Play.
everything.
We're Backlog BoyZ with a Z. Go check us out. Go listen to our past episodes. For our mainline stuff, we have Last of Us Part 1, Last of Us Part 2. Those were great episodes. Go listen to those. They're really fucking long, though, so take your time if you want. You can binge it, though, if you're just that brave. We've also have our banter and news stuff. They're numbered really crazily. That's because we think it's fucking funny. Go listen to that.
And it is.
It is. It's still funny. So go listen to that. Go check out. We're on Twitter. Go follow us on Twitter. Sorry, I'm trying to think of our plugs. Go follow us on Twitter. We're at Backlog BoyZ Pod. Again, boys with a Z. Go check out AYCH Extra, that feed as well. That's where all the extra stuff goes. There's Ultraman files. There's now Tanner's Muscle Orchestra series that just put out its
Brand
first
new.
episode.
Finally releasing.
Brand spanking new. Cinema Grenoir. They haven't put out anything in a little bit, but they still have, I think, a few episodes out. Go check those out. It's about goth culture, especially in cinema.
Movies, yes.
Yep, absolutely. And go check out Cage of Greatness, led by Justin, or Shimmy, as some might call him, where they, I don't know. Talk about some stupid fuckhead named Nicolas Cage or some shit. I don't
I
know.
like Nicolas Cage a good bit.
Maybe. But yeah, go check those out. Let me think. What else? Go check out the main episode of AYC, main stuff of AYCH. This
We
week.
just finished up the month. We had a very, very not busy month because we changed it up. Because I think as the week we release this episode, we will have finished up our
the week this comes out, Monday, we would just have part 1 of our Banter Words episode comes out.
Oh, okay.
Next week, part 2 comes out. We had a schedule change. So now main show is only going to put out at least 2 episodes a month.
Yeah,
we have an episode talking about that called State of the Podcast. Go check that out. We'll talk about how we're doing the podcast and everything else.
Doesn't affect us here. I mean, we do.
It doesn't affect us here. Yeah. But yeah, go check those out. And then next month we'll be doing our banter and news episode, and then we'll be doing our video game focus episode. Do we want to say what it is?
We always got to announce it before the next month starts.
Okay.
You want to do it? Shoot it out.
Is it Toem?
That's why I wanted you to do it, because I wasn't sure.
God damn it. How did we come so unprepared for this episode that we were so confident? Like, yeah, we'll do it.
We don't have Tanner here to help, because he's also like another reassuring voice when we're like, question mark, huh?
Yeah, he's very reassuring of us. And I feel
because even though when he's reassuring and like it's obvious and he's like wrong, he's still reassuring.
Yeah. It feels weird without him here.
Yeah.
Anyway. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so it's Toem. Very excited to play that. Colt's the only one that's played it, beat it.
I gotta replay it though. They got a new DLC.
Yeah. Yeah, so very excited that it's a short game. It's very stylistic too. Very excited for that. So stay tuned. And you can follow me, Wenzel, on Twitter at WenzelWilkie. You can follow my art Instagram at World of Wenzy. You can follow my Bookstagram, Wenzel Banters. I have a store, worldofwenzy.bigcartel.com. I sell prints and stickers there and original art. I have a link tree for links for all this stuff. I really appreciate it if you checked any of it out. Thank you so much for listening, and have a good day.
Yeah, my name's Colt. Follow me on Twitter at ColtD00. Hell, hit us up on our Backlog BoyZ Twitter and tell us like what's your favorite Pokemon from this gen, because there's a lot of good Pokemon here, and like why not express yourself? And also, if you think we said some stuff that was stupid or dumb, just tell us that as well on there. Just say, yeah, I don't agree. I think this game ran perfectly 60 FPS 4K, and you need to shut your mouth. Yeah, whatever you want, just hit us up with those infos, and that's all I got to say.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening. We'll see you in the AYCH verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.